sir. Oh, we got this. We got this. We gonna do this. We gonna do it right. Okay?
Don't do it all night long. All night.
I just want to say that the Raiders get on my nerves, baby. But you know, who don't get on my nerves? It's these guys right here, baby. Man, I had to come out with the hooks, you know, the bars, the cars, not the derricks, but I'm talking about the whips, baby. 'Cause Fox looks like a Lambo out there.
My man's with the bars.
Oh man. Hey. I'm such a fool, man. Hey, I want to thank everybody for joining us, man. Welcome to the 2-4 podcast. I'm your host, Christian, and this is the broski, Kenneth. Say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody? Good to be back for another week, another Sunday night reaction.
As DJ Khaled would say, another one.
Another one.
This is episode 14, baby. Episode 14. We're staying consistent. 2 a week, maybe a third. We don't know, man. But the thing that we do know is that we only gonna get places if we keep the grind going. And with that being said, I'm on top of it today. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment. Let me hear it, man. If you hurting with me, let me hear that hurt. You don't even have to be a Raider fan to be hurt, man. You could be hurting for the players, or you could be hurting for your own team. If you caught an L today, I want to hear about it, man. If you gave us the dub, I mean like that you got the dub on us, go ahead, man. If you a Colts fan, tell me what your thoughts are, man. I would love to hear things from Colts fans out there and the craziness that was this Sunday at 1 p.m. But we'll get to that in a bit, man, because history was made in the NFL, dog. There's this thing that happened overseas. People
Across the pond
played football. I'm not talking about football. Okay, I'm talking about football. There's a difference between the two.
That football, that American football. Yeah.
American football was played in Germany. And you know, I also thought it was fitting for them to send a GOAT out there. You know, they need
no one other better to represent the league than Tom Brady.
Because then they can see the psycho Tom. They can also see the good side that's not so psycho. But the thing is, like, you know, he needed to catch a dub on this team that's in your division, that's been catching lots of dubs, and it's kind of scaring you. And I bet your night felt real good knowing that they caught a L, you got a dub, and you keep things moving. But yeah, I think the league did a good job by using Tom Brady and not like the Jacksonville Jaguars every year in London, man. Like it's ridiculous. But you know,
I wouldn't think anybody better to represent.
Yeah,
football than
he's the MJ of the NFL, man.
Basically,
which also
is a good matchup too, because I believe there's a Seattle Seahawks player currently who was actually born in Germany. He was born in Germany, moved back to the States, and was raised stateside. I forget his name, but he's of German born, you know, and
he probably
it's also
sprechen the Deutsch.
Yeah,
He probably
You know,
sprechen the
so
Deutsch. Yeah. I don't.
this was I know a little bit, just because my stepmother, new side of the family, she's
Mhm.
from Germany, now
Gotcha.
has German family that we know of and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So this was also pretty cool to see the you know have Germany
Yeah.
represented in the world of sports now,
Yeah. Bunch of
and
Arnold Schwarzenegger sound people out there be like, get to the end zone now.
yeah, but just the hype that this game had. I don't know if you know like how many people were like trying to get tickets for this game. Like
Well,
they
you know,
had so
that's
many people that wanted to go to this game. They couldn't fit everybody in that stadium, so they had another watch party at another stadium for people. Like there was so
oh
many
dude,
people that wanted
I
to
didn't know
go.
that it was that
There was
freaking
like
huge. Like, I mean, I figured because, like, you know, a lot of countries do appreciate something new like that hitting their
yeah,
country. And you know, the NFL is really trying to globalize their sport, which is great. Like, real talk, bro. This has been a thought in my mind for the longest time. I truly believe that Japanese people would get into this
oh yeah,
because not everybody could be a great sumo wrestler, but imagine them as your offensive or defensive lineman,
yeah,
because those dudes are built solid. They are
yeah,
ridiculously strong. I remember not that long ago, a sumo wrestler went to the Warriors to, like, you know, show off his strength, and Steph Curry could not budge the dude as hard as he tried, and the dude just was standing straight up. He wasn't doing anything crazy. He was just like, go ahead, push me, man, push me as hard as you
yeah,
can. Dude, he couldn't be budged. Other guys tried to, and they're like, nope. Clay tried. He was like, nah, it ain't happening.
yeah. It
um,
it
just imagine that in the NFL, bro. Like they already took a concept like that, bringing rugby players to the NFL,
hmm Yeah,
and
you saw it. I mean, wait, quite a few years back was Jared Hayne. He was one of the
yeah,
first. He was the first to do it, and the 49ers signed him. Uh, and I mean, he obviously didn't work out like long term, but I mean, when he first started in his preseason games, he was doing pretty well, which not a lot of people thought he would do that well.
yeah, yeah,
Because this is,
and
this is his first time transitioning and playing American football
and I
professionally.
yeah, and I truly believe that like sumo dudes would do so good because I don't know if people know this, but a lot of families start their children in sumo wrestling like from as young as like 4 years old.
Yeah.
And they come in different body types. Not everybody's like that huge obese looking kind of dude. A lot of them look like normal dudes that are just ridiculously strong, and you know they kind of fight in weight divisions and things like that. So it's not like they're always going up against a dude who's just way bigger than them. No. This just like in boxing and stuff where you have weight divisions. But the the having worked out since you were just a child
Yeah.
to then you're a grown man. I mean, the strength on those guys got to be ridiculous. It's kind of like a Chinese being Shaolin at a young age. The things that they
Yeah.
put their bodies through, you know,
hmm
and so I like seeing that the NFL is trying their trying to do their due diligence in spreading the game like the way the NBA has.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
because you look at the NBA, I mean, basketball is a universal sport. They have
yeah.
pro teams in different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you get, European players
Yeah.
into the NBA draft or
Yeah.
signing European players like that. Like imagine if it was like that with like football. I mean, obviously we know we got
Yeah.
the Canadian League.
Don't bring that up.
Um
There's no point.
But there's really no point. But just to see like the spread of the sport
Yeah.
more towards
They
the
just
European side
messed
would be
they messed
Yeah.
up with spreading it up north. They should have did it down south. Do it with Mexico, Central America, South America. Do it there, man. Don't. There's no point, man. The only thing that they're good at is when there's ice involved. Okay. Other than that, just leave these jabronis alone. We don't need them.
yeah.
You had to go there, man.
Sad.
You know
I mean,
how I am.
I'm just I'm
No.
not saying they're good. I'm
Yeah.
just explaining like how, that's the only place it's reached. I wish it would reach further, to other countries
Yeah.
to start their own leagues if they
Yes.
wanted to.
Yes. Yeah.
So like
You know what would help
maybe
is
this
if-
is the start of that,
Yeah. Maybe in 20 some odd years, I don't really see it really happening, but maybe the thing that will make it really jump off is when enough countries start doing what you just said, and then it forces the hand of the Olympic Committee to then make it an Olympic sport.
Olympic
I
sport,
don't-
and
I
then
don't-
everybody.
I don't see it happening though because it's such a physical game
Yeah.
that you're gonna risk injuries that affect the pro teams.
Well, I
and,
mean,
you know,
basketball could be a physical game too.
No, I mean, yeah, but they have a lot more games, and so if they lose some games, their season is not over. They can make a trade move. Whereas in the NFL, everything is precious to them. Every draft pick, every player that they have, especially their star players, they are, they hold everything precious to them because there are so few games to be able to achieve the ultimate goal of winning the Super Bowl. So,
Yeah.
but I gotta give kudos. I did not know that they basically had to sell out 2 stadiums in order to watch one
Yeah,
game.
there were.
That's
Because,
crazy.
I mean, the stadium they were at holds 75,000 plus, right? They sold out every seat, sold out. Everybody's there having a grand old time. They were like there were so many people like trying to get tickets for this game that they just had a watch party at another like local stadium, and even like at other stadiums like across Germany, like in Frankfurt and stuff like that. Obviously, this was in Munich, but they're just like the whole country's gonna celebrate it
Yeah.
because it's an historic event. And when I tell you, I like saw behind the scenes, like, and you know how like Europeans can get with like football, with their chants and stuff like that. This was happening, so you're feeling that energy, that excitement, not only watching one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game,
Yeah.
but also seeing him and his team get the win. Like that's what you want to see. That's what you go there to see.
Mhm.
And I wish I was there because it looked like a fun time. They were they were selling beers by the pitcher.
Wow.
They were
Well, I
selling
mean-
steins, big steins of
Yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
I'm like, that looks dumb.
Well, they are different out there with the way they can consume alcohol.
Yeah,
I mean, they
yeah.
already do stuff like that also in London when they do their thing. I mean, they even give out beer for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I was like, damn, look at that. Hey, have that kind of size of a beer at an NFL stadium in the United States. That'd be $50.
yeah,
About,
dude.
be $1 million beer right there.
Yeah, dude. But also, we're different. We're different. We don't handle our
yeah.
alcohol like the way they do. That like
Yeah.
people, I've noticed with European people, they handle it just fine. They don't really get in fights and nothing like that. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't fights that happen, but
Yeah.
it's not to the level that like us Americans can be. Like, dude, you just say something the wrong way, accidentally bump into the wrong dude. I mean, shoot, you don't even have to do
look at 'em
anything.
the wrong way.
Just the fact that you got
You were breathing.
a different team's jersey on, you know what I'm saying, and you're over here rooting for your team because they just put the ass whooping on their team, and they see that you so happy.
it could be. it could be so bad sometimes that if you're on the losing end, some people take their jersey off, wrap it up inside out, and walk out of the stadium without it on. Like
Yeah.
that's how bad some people can get at sporting events and stuff like that when
Yeah.
they get lost like that. Which is kind of
Yeah.
embarrassing if you put it like
Yeah.
that.
I've never
It's
I've
a
never
bad
seen
name.
I've never seen a European version of a World Star happen
Yeah.
at sporting events out there. I've only ever seen it in the States, dog. Like there's a reason we talked about this not that long ago. There's a reason why the league banned our teams from going up against each other uh
Yeah.
for a while. There's a
We're
reason, bro.
public enemy
It
number
was
ones, man.
it was worse than Crips and Bloods because Crips and Bloods might have liked the Raiders and Crips and Bloods might have liked the Niners, but you know what? It wasn't about being a Crip or a Blood. They could have known each other, but the fact that you wearing those colors, silver on black,
Yeah.
red and gold, it's like, no, bruh, it's on today. It's on site. You gonna get the
on
smoke.
site, basically. You're gonna get it.
But
Yeah.
out there, they do their little chants. That's what they do. That's their version of fighting. Is they do a fight song, you know, for the
Yeah.
of the team, but not
Yeah.
literally throw down.
Yeah.
So it's just like who can be the loudest and more cheerleader for their team, which is kind of cool,
Mhm.
but kind of sad too. But the end of that score was 16-21. But if I'm not mistaken, at one point, what it was like 21-6 or something like that. It was like Tampa Bay went off to a good start.
It was by the third quarter it was 14-3.
Okay.
Because the Seahawks didn't score until the third quarter. They got 3 points. But then they scored 13 in the fourth. And
Yeah.
then
Okay.
Tampa Bay scored 7 just to edge them out.
Gotcha.
But I mean, if you want to talk about the game, the
Just real
Buccaneers,
quick,
they stepped up, after having that comeback win
yeah.
from Brady against the Rams last week. I mean, the defense stepped up, really good. Rashad White had a really good game. He had 105 yards, 22 rushes.
Damn.
That's a lot better because the running game for this team has been non-existent.
Terrible. Yeah.
Non-existent. Brady threw for 258, 22 for 29, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Like the team they were having a good game. And I think the comeback win gave them a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, and
coming into this one.
You bringing up how much they were able to run for. If I don't
That's
really
a big
know,
thing too
I don't-
because
'cause
Tom
I know
Brady
that-
excels in that kind of play action.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, but my thing was with Seattle with their cuz like they're a very they don't know shit, man. They don't know that they're supposed to technically be bad. They're a young
Yeah.
team that they don't care to sacrifice their bodies, like throw it into somebody. They're a physical team. And so, I don't know where they rank like in run defense, but I got to imagine that they didn't allow dudes to run all over them like they did today. 161 yards for the entire team.
Yeah.
I don't think that they've had too many games like that. And then also,
they're right around the middle to the top of the pack with run defense.
Yeah, and then I got to give props to Geno, man. Not a single interception.
I mean, he's still playing really good football.
He's playing good. Yeah,
is-
he's been efficient. He threw for 275.
Now, I don't know what it is, his quarterback rating, but going into the game, he had the third best quarterback rating in the league.
Yeah, today was a little
You
bit subpar just because he was sacked 3 times. You
Yeah.
take away those sacks, it boosts the QBR some. 10 misses on throws. He was 23 for 33. But his overall rating was really nice. It's 115.
Yeah.
So, give props to Geno. He also ran a little bit, but that's where they also didn't get anything going off. It's just the run game on their end was terrible. Only 39 yards.
Yeah,
And-
which is surprising because I mean, Kenneth Walker has been,
Yeah.
pretty solid.
Yeah.
Since stepping up as running back one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the biggest takeaway is that the Bucks defense actually stepped up. They actually
Yeah,
showed up,
they did. They
which has been a problem.
they limited the amount of plays that Seattle had. They
Yeah.
won that by 24 more plays. So that's huge that they didn't allow it to be even. They limited
Yeah.
they limited the plays that they could actually have. Um, the amount of yards that they had in total through running and in the air, 419 to 283.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, that's too hard to try and come back from. So, Seattle made a valiant effort, trying to at least make the score look a little differently, from like without like digging into the stats to see how things actually played out. Just seeing that score, you're boosting the confidence of the casual fan to know that you're not a garbage team. So that way,
Yeah.
when you are at home, you're gonna get the support when those casual fans say, you know what, let's go to a Seahawk game, man. Let's go
don't
be that
get
12th
me
man.
wrong. This team, going into this season, everybody counted them out. And they're a good team. They're a young team. They're gonna fight. I mean, they have good coaching. I mean, any given day they can go out there and whoop any team. Today it was just Tampa's day. So I mean, pretty much set on that. I think the Bucks are gonna. I think they're gonna make a late run for the playoffs. I think they really start figuring out from here on out their game plan, and they're gonna really be another contender in the NFC again, which is good to see because you want to see Tom Brady in the mix again.
Yeah.
So
Let's move on to some of the earlier games. Games that have stood out to us. A game for me that stood out is the Detroit Chicago game.
yeah,
1 point dub right there, bro.
yeah.
The Lions were able to pull some out, man. They had to call out to the Egyptian god Amun Ra Saint Brown. He's also a saint.
This, which was the Saint Brown Bros bowl right here. I mean, you got I can't even say Aquan Amuis Saint Brown on the other team. I'm gonna say Aquan Saint Brown on the other team, which is his brother.
Yeah.
So them playing against each other. Yeah. I mean, I watched this game. Really, really good, solid game between both teams.
Justin
Fields is on fire right now. You know what I see when I see Justin Fields right now? I see. I'm not saying he's just like him, but I see glimpses. I see Michael Vick.
Yeah,
I see that Michael Vick kind of play style. Like he's wants to throw the ball, but then in the back of his mind, like I just see he's gonna go get that first down, or he's gonna go get that touchdown. He had a huge touchdown run where he said, "I'm gonna break every tackle, and I'm gonna run it to the house." That's what he did. And
I'm old enough to know. Michael Vick's game from early on, like when he was in Atlanta. And I remember the thing that was his biggest knock was his ability to throw accurately. Like, I think Lamar actually throws it better than Michael Vick because, that comparison is always there. But Michael was a lot like Justin Fields. Like, he
a better runner than thrower.
Yeah, and part of the reason why they lost is because of pick six, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe they had a pick six. And so, but I've been saying it for a minute now. These Detroit Lions, dog. But I can say the same thing about Chicago. These are promising teams, man. As long as the organizations don't get in the way of things and just continue to boost the confidence, add talent, and just let people do their jobs, man. These guys are fun to watch, man. They're fun.
Yeah. I know it was a fun game just because, like, how it came down to the wire. Obviously, Justin Fields is really exciting to watch. But yeah, give both of these teams another year, maybe 2. Especially if you give Justin Fields another year to develop. You already see his development showing right now. In the middle of this season. He's gonna be elite quarterback. If they develop it to him where he can really like hone in on his passing.
Yeah.
And
that's gonna take time.
And
that's gonna take time.
Hitting the passes when he's on the scramble, like it also is gonna take time with your receivers as well, getting that,
Yeah,
being on the same page and stuff. So
it's gonna take time. What will help is if they continue to look for really big time weapons for him to throw to, because the number one thing for any athlete is confidence. So you putting the confidence in him that you believe in him as a thrower and decision maker, and then giving him the weapons that can handle whatever kind of throw comes their way, because I haven't really studied enough on his spirals to know if comes out wobbly or what, how crisp is the pass. I really haven't taken the time to notice that. And so maybe I need to start doing that to be able to like say how much time he might need. But if you give him weapons, the really good ones don't really care that much about how the ball gets to them. It's just a matter of it being in their vicinity. They'll make it happen. And that's just gonna help boost his his ability to grow. And I expect him to have a great career. And us bringing up Michael Vick, Michael Vick took a while. It wasn't until he was in Philly that he started to become a much more accurate thrower of the ball. His time in prison didn't help with, not letting us see it a little bit sooner. But, hopefully Justin Fields never, ever has any kind of legal issues or disciplinary issues just being on the field. So that way we're not robbed of anything, because he's a special guy, but this dude, oh my god,
just like Lamar is, like Lamar Jackson, he's a special quarterback. He's a special player to watch. Like, a lot of these players don't come around too often.
Yeah. So let's move on to some other teams. Is there a team in particular that you want to talk about before some of the later games? Okay.
Yep. A team that is not really getting a lot of recognition.
Yeah.
And I think they deserve it now.
Okay.
Because nobody is. They're talking about them a little bit, but they're not really talking about them that much. The Minnesota Vikings, dude.
I thought you was going there.
The Minnesota Vikings are a good football team.
They are, dude. They're 8-1.
They're 8-1. They went out and they beat the Bills.
Who gets talked about every week.
Every week
they're getting talked about, but nobody's talking about our cousin Kirk.
Yeah, because you like that. You like that.
Yeah. I like
You like
this.
that. I like this. And shout out Patrick Peterson iced the game with the pick to
Yep.
close it out in overtime. That was a great game to watch.
Man, you came up with 2 INTs, bro.
Yeah.
I could have sworn he was washed up.
Yeah. Who said that? Huh? I don't know.
But you know, they be looking at this team like they ain't got some talent and they ain't got some people with chips on their shoulder.
They just added talent. They got TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah,
as
but
a
I'm
tight
just
end. I don't like.
we talked about it on the
They
deadline.
got JJ. They got Justin Jefferson. They got Dalvin Cook. The defense is solid. They played against the Bills, who pretty much have everybody almost everybody healthy. I mean, Josh Allen is kind of,
he's the only suspect.
100%.
Yeah,
but he still played.
Yeah,
he still played.
And I don't want to hear nothing about injuries. You either go out there because you're healthy, or you're not out there because you're not healthy. You don't get the in betweens. If you're going out there, it's because you're going out there to do your thing. Be the person that we know you to be. I know that's kind of unfair, but that's how sports is, especially when you're the man. When you're one of the faces of the franchise, you either sit your butt on the bench or you go out and play. There's no in between. There's no let me see how I feel kind of thing. No. You make no excuses. You decide to take a shot and go out there and ball out and possibly get another shot during halftime. Make sure everything feel okay. And yeah, but no, they messed up. They had an opportunity to win, and I don't know why the coach did not believe in their defense. Isn't this supposed to be a better defense? Isn't there a reason why you went after Vaughn? What was your reason for going for Vaughn? It's to win these big games. You were going up against a team at the time was 7-1. Okay, and you guys have been losing some games in a row. So you guys could have taken the safety and played defense for 40 seconds or whatever, because you got to punt the ball. That's going to cut some time out from that 40 seconds that would have been left. So you're probably talking about more realistically 30 seconds to pull what Tom Brady did the last week against the Rams. So
what do?
Does Kirk Cousins scare you that much? Is Kirk Cousins Tom Brady's cousin? Whose cousin is it? Is it Mahomes' cousin?
No.
Why are they afraid of Kirk Cousins? I'm telling you, whose cousin is this, dog? Whose cousin is this? What? Because if I was somebody on the Bills, I wouldn't have been like, quarterback sneak. No, man, we taking the knee. Yeah. And the way you hike the ball with either one of those plays is completely different. One, you need to give it to the quarterback in a hurry so he could sneak in and get that into the 1 yard line. But the other one, you just kind of, here you go. It's a slower handoff. It's a slower exchange. And I don't know what the weather was like, but I gotta assume it's cold because it's out in Buffalo.
It was probably cold. It was probably like 40 degrees, something like that.
Take the knee, man. Take the knee.
But you butt fumbled off your center, and they recovered, and it was a touchdown.
Man, dude. You telling me all these people that you have on defense isn't worth 30 seconds of defense?
Yeah.
Not even a full minute, man.
Yeah.
They looking
That's
they really looking at Kirk Cousins. I mean, I like Kirk Cousins, but they really looking at Kirk Cousins like he's Superman out there, man. That he's not Clark Kent, but Kirk Kent or something. You know, he's cousins of somebody.
Clark. Yeah. The Bills dropped the ball on this.
Literally.
Like this was a game.
No. Literally dropped
dropped
the ball. Man.
I mean, dude, look at Justin Jefferson. 10 receptions for almost 200 yards, 193 and a TD. That kid he made a statement because everybody was saying, who was better, Stephon Diggs or Justin Jefferson. He made a statement. In this game, I'm gonna take JJ.
No,
I'll take JJ.
Can we take 1 second real quick to shut up Giant fans and Odell Beckham fans to give praise to the level of difficulty that JJ had, which I believe is a greater catch than what Odell had. Dude had 2 hands on the ball when he was one-handing it. He had to rip it from the dude with one hand and, secure it on a 4th down.
Yeah. Crucial.
Their
must play.
Their night would have been over if he had not made the thing. I don't want to hear, well, one was a touchdown. They lost the game, dude.
Yeah.
The Giants lost the game to the Cowboys. That's the thing that they're forgetting, that you lost the game. Who won the game? The Vikings won the game. Because of that young man right there, bro.
Yep. 100%.
JJ had the better catch.
Oh, yeah.
You need to give flowers where flowers are due. It's not taking away of what greatness Odell's catch had, but it's being dropped down a couple pegs because of the level of difficulty of this catch.
Yeah. And that they won the game off of it.
And they won the game.
It was a crucial part in the game that led them to the point of winning the game.
And now they're 8-1, and
I mean, I put them right behind the Eagles. Eagles, Vikings, 2 top teams right now. Eagles, Vikings, Chiefs.
Yeah. And the NFC, I mean, if you're just simply going by the win-loss right now.
Yeah.
You might not feel it that they have a great chance of winning a Super Bowl. But hey, at least they're in the conversation of we've been executing all year long. And when it comes down to it, that's the name of the game, execution. And they definitely have been tested and have shown that they can do it. And JJ is a guy that you want to be throwing it to at crucial times. You don't want to you don't want to be like my dumbass team that will have a weapon in Devontae Adams and not use the guy. And design plays that don't get him open correctly and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to segue into the BS that happened at 1:05 p.m. Between 2 teams that are a bit of a circus, but one is the sketchy kind, where you could probably, need to get a tetanus shot on the way out of the circus. Because when you sat down, you didn't see that rusty nail, and they painted a donkey black and white and called it a zebra. So go ahead, man. You talk about this and then
this Colts and Raiders game was one game to watch just because of how much media these two teams were getting in the last week. Okay. Obviously, the Colts firing their head coach, and then hiring Jeff Saturday as interim head coach. No NFL experience. I love Jeff Saturday as a player. He's a great lineman, great football player.
They made more
I mean,
coaching staff moves too.
they made more coaching staff moves. They moved.
They fired the OC,
Fired the OC.
fired the DC.
Hired the DC.
Right?
Yeah. They
Elevated
elevated
the
the
quarterback's
assistant,
coach, right?
the quarterback's coach. I think it was assistant coach. Was he the assistant coach
I think it was the quarterback
under
coach.
Frank Wright? Was he quarterback Wright?
Yeah.
So took him, moved him to play caller, offensive coordinator, first time ever calling plays in the NFL,
and put him in the bird box.
So put him in the bird box. So we got a lot of moving pieces for this team, right? On coaching staff. It's a lot of new faces, a lot of new, things that could possibly go wrong. But I mean, looking at it, Jeff Saturday, he had all the confidence in the world coming in. A lot of people doubting him. You look at the press conferences he had. He spoke his words. He says, he's played his game for a long time. He took the challenge. He said he's a great leader of men. He can go in there and try to heighten this team to new levels and stuff like that. And I think watching this, how the Colts played, they did play a little different. They look like a different team than last week. They were a mess last week and the weeks before that. I think they had a little bit of spark in them to play. They played a little bit harder than usual. But on paper, the Raiders should have won this game not by a lot, but by a good amount. At least a couple scores on paper, given all the games that they've had one score losses. They've had high scoring games. They can put up the offense. But in the last weeks, this Raiders team has kind of just been in shambles. And the Raiders being another talk in the media about head coach McDaniels and GM and ownership, everybody coming for them. A lot of people are blaming the players. Everybody's just kind of pointing the finger around what's going on. It's kind of like a slap in the face of what this team was built and accomplished to do last season, what they did last season, and what they were kind of built this season to try to repeat. It's kind of now just being, a laughing point, like just a smack to the fans and the organization. Obviously, it's not like on one from my perspective. It's not on one side of the ball, or it's all on a coaching staff. It's a collective thing, and the demeanor I see from players. Most players, they still have passion. They care about this, this team. They want to do good. But then I see from others the lack of, what is it? Just the demeanor and the way they talk. They're kind of, checking out. It seems,
They're down in the dumps.
And they're down in the dumps. They feel like they can't do anything. it's kind of just hard to watch because you go out and you get this talent, Devontae Adams, and you know, big signing on defense with Chandler Jones, which hasn't really been working out into the Raiders' favor. But it's all a collective thing for the whole team and for both sides of the ball to really step up and do their jobs, but also for like the coaching staff to have to do an even better job in leading this team, making the right calls. And if you're not making the right calls earlier in the season, and now you're admitting that you're not making, like, the calls aren't working, the scheme isn't working, you should have known that. You should have like, sat down at a table and put it all in front of you. It's like, it's not working, so got to do something different. Why keep going with it if it's not working? And if you have Devontae Adams, why don't you play to your strengths in your offense? Josh Jacobs, strength in your offense. Devontae Adams, strength in your offense. Even Matt Collins can be a strength in your offense. Playing through those key players to put points on the board is crucial. And obviously we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We'd like to know,
Yeah.
I'm sure the whole league would like to know, because it's kind of just like a drama fest right now from what it looks like. A lot of people are feeling really, really bad for Derek Carr right now, because what they're witnessing is probably his last year as a Raider.
And I think there's also people who weren't Derek Carr fans
Yeah,
who also feel bad because they're seeing the incompetence of the staff and what they're doing, and it's not just affecting Carr, it's affecting other guys.
Everybody.
Like, because like even if they don't like Derek Carr, well, they like Devontae Adams, and
Yeah.
Devontae is not having any fun out here, man. This is not what he signed up for.
To quote Devontae Adams, he says, Sunday is supposed to be the funnest day of the week. It's not right now for them. It is not. And that says a lot. Not only they're not having fun playing football, but they're not having fun looking forward to the week that they have to play. So there's stuff going on in practice. There's stuff going behind the scenes. Like, it's just, I feel bad. Like, I feel so bad for like the fans, the players, even the coaches that are not like the head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, like the coaches that have a kind of a role that can help, this team, but it's all funneled down to kind of one guy, which is Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
And him, I mean, he even admitted that they have to figure out something new to do. It's not working. We got to figure something else out. And I'm like, people have been trying to tell you this for weeks now. It's been like 4 weeks now. Like,
something crazy, man. Because like, all right, I'm gonna start interjecting in here, man. Because
yeah,
I can't hold it anymore.
Speak a piece.
The way he draws up every set of downs, okay? Like to him, in his mind, you don't do it the more traditional way of, committing to the run, and you throw like eventually like the throws catch up to the attempts that you run to a degree. But like we are very rarely keeping time of possession. I've always said there needs to be no less than 20 carries by Josh Jacobs. I would like to see it get close to 30. We don't ever get it close to 30. I think maybe one time we've maybe gotten to like 25. I think
Yeah,
I can't really recall.
More times it's barely getting to 20.
Yeah, there's a lot
Barely.
of times where it's in the teens, and that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the kind of route trees that he's trying to utilize, guys, is just not working to help create things to where Derek can see like where he needs to go. It's difficult to read what's going on out there because you're making it impossible for there to look like there's a good option. Even if these guys know the offense, he's like, he can't freaking do anything when every guy is going up against good coverage. It's just it's not the same. And I don't think it's a Derek Carr problem. I think it's simply Josh McDaniels and his coaching staff. They are regressing when you've added talent. That makes no sense. This is a team that made it into the playoffs, that won double-digit games, okay? And there was many games where we played a complete game last year. It wasn't just like comeback wins. There were many games also in there that like we took care of business from beginning to end for the most part. And so, it's just ridiculous, man. I do get that like Derek is not Aaron Rodgers. So he can't quite make the same throws to Devontae as Aaron Rodgers, but I don't think people are appreciating the fact that I think even Aaron Rodgers would struggle throwing it to Devontae and this style of play calling and not being allowed to really make the adjustments necessary at the line of scrimmage, okay? Because I think the only thing Derek Carr is allowed to do is to audible or whatever things that are within the playbook. So it's still a shitty game plan to another shitty game plan. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's not
100%.
It's not a good game plan whatsoever. And for this guy to like, I sent you a picture, what was it, last week of Josh McDaniels? I don't know if I brought it up recently.
Yeah.
So I sent you a picture.
At a press conference last week.
I sent you a picture of him at the podium addressing the media, and he's not wearing any Raiders gear. And he has bad body language, terrible tone to his voice. And it bothers me. I don't care that this is his son's school, his high school team's logo on that windbreaker. I don't care. This is your place of work. If you want to have things of your son, it's a picture on your desk. Or maybe some of that other stuff in your office. But you don't go and conduct business where you're supposed to be a professional and be a leader wearing nothing that has to do with the organization that you're in charge of running. You know what I'm saying? You are in a leadership position that you aren't instilling any confidence in these guys to have any kind of pride for this team. Because if you were winning, if your record was the reverse, I'm pretty sure you would give no shits about wearing your son's jacket. You would be so proud to be a
Yeah.
Raider right now.
Yep.
But you
Roles
know what?
reversed.
But you know what? When you're losing, that's when your pride needs to come out the most. Because the commitment to excellence, which is the motto before the just win, baby. Okay? The commitment to excellence means that in times where your character and your makeup is being tested, you rise to the occasion and you bring others along with you. And those things make you become a better team. Because when you do get past these hard times, you know that you've been tested in so many ways. That's why there was so much confidence in this team, because of what Derek Carr and company did last year. Because when they were faced with the worst adversities that any team has ever seen, they rose to the occasion. They committed themselves to be excellent every down. There was no way around it. They were not going to let down the fan base just because adversity struck them. When everyone else's heads were down low, their heads were being held up high and saying, not today, bro. And they had the worst chance that anybody had to make it into the playoffs. And we made it very difficult on Cincinnati, the team that wound up going to the Super Bowl. We made it very difficult. We were the first challenge they had before they got to the Rams. And they lucked out. So that's why people's expectations were high, because of what we did before. But we can't do it when we have people in the staff that oppress us from being what we're meant to be. We're supposed to be a good football team. But you are sabotaging. You are making sure that we are anything but a good football team because you want to derail things for people. You know how stupid you guys look right now? You went and made a win now move to lose now for the future.
To now a tanking team.
Because now you're over here thinking to yourself, we need to be losers for 3 years. Do you think Davante Adams, if you're able to keep his services for that long, do you think that because of his age, he's going to be the Davante Adams that you had right now?
Absolutely not.
This is a physical game, man. People's careers can only last for so long. Their height of their powers can only last for so long. That's why it's a win now move. You do what the Rams did leading up to their Super Bowl. Okay, many teams have followed that type of blueprint of you don't care about the future anymore. You care about right now, because the future can't help you right now. Some dude who's a high school player, a senior in high school right now, cannot help you right now because there is a rule in place that he has to be in college for an X amount of time before he can be in the pros. So, you know, I don't know how deep this college draft class is going to be, but dog, that should also scare you because you're not hearing about like a great quarterback. So many people want to get off of Derek Carr. Well, so what? You use your first overall pick to get a quarterback that you ain't hearing already today?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, you know, in years past with great QB classes, man, we heard about them a mile away, even before it was their time. Trevor Lawrence is a perfect example of that shit.
People were talking about Trevor Lawrence before he was eligible for the draft. Like,
way before.
Like, when he first got to Clemson. Like, Way before.
So then you waste your first round pick on someone who's not even being talked about way before.
Mhm.
So then what happens? You find out he's trash. He can't play. He isn't even half of what Derek Carr was, and so then you have another year where you're held back again, and you got to get another quarterback. We've seen teams do that crap too.
Yep.
I mean, why do you think Washington was so discombobulated after RG3 and Kirk Cousins left?
They struggled
Th-
to find
they-
a quarterback.
They drafted two dudes in the same year. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was the same draft
Mhm.
class. And they still wound up without either one of them. One because of injury, one because they were done with that mess that was in Washington. You don't think that you're gonna have the same situation here?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
What I think they're trying to do is what it looks like to me is they're trying to get rid of Derek Carr. Because I mean, you heard it before Josh McDaniels took the job. You even said it. He didn't really like Derek Carr. Is that correct?
I mean,
He
I
didn't
have no
really-
idea, man. I just know that Derek Carr, to me, really proved himself last year, and that
He
even
did.
the Derek Carr haters cannot take that away from him.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
So
like,
if what
I
they're
just don't
trying to
get it.
do, if what they're trying to do is what I'm saying is correct, and it happens, and then they draft a quarterback, and he doesn't work out, this be the biggest mistake they've ever made. Be the biggest mistake. One of the biggest mistakes. I think the first mistake is hiring Josh McDaniels as the head coach. But Derek Carr, the passion that this guy has to this game, and all the injuries he's gone through, things that, have, he's had to go through mentally after those injuries as well. To see him so emotional in that press conference after this game, you just feel for it even more, because like I said, the passion he has for this game, to be a quarterback and to want to win. He wants to win. He wants to go out there every day, put his all in, and play the game right, and go and try to win football games.
Yeah,
And like you're saying, this team is being oppressed of that, which is hurting him. He says he's pissed off. He literally said he's pissed off about this. And if you go and get rid of him, that's the dumbest move ever. Because he's a good quarterback.
yeah,
He is a really good quarterback.
yeah. So we had someone in the comment section who says players need to sit down with the owner and talk about the problem in the staff and get McDaniels out of there. Which I think the leaders of the team should do that. I think they should have
Yeah.
a meeting with Mark
That's it.
Davis because, when you needed to get shit done back in the day, you never went to the GM. Actually, Al Davis was the GM. You never went to the assistant to the GM. You never went to the head coach. When there was a real problem, the players back in the day would go to Al Davis and be like, "Hey man, they not using me right." Or hey, this dude doesn't know what he's doing. And it would be the leaders of the team. Okay?
Yeah.
And Al Davis would take that seriously. I don't know if Mark Davis is anything close to his dad. I don't think he is.
I
But
don't think so either.
but maybe the little bit that's there, maybe what's there is that ability to hear what the players are saying. Because at the end of the day, games are won through the players, not through the
They are.
coaches. But the coaches are the ones that can make you lose the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Players perform to win the game. Coaches set up the players to perform.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. And if you take your team leaders, put them in a room, really express how they feel about everything that's going on. I mean, you have no choice but to hear them out. Those are your players. Those are the guys you're paying money to play for you every day. You know, day in, day out practice, even off season, what they put themselves through for the last weeks or this season to be the result of that is kind of ridiculous, you know?
Yeah.
So I really hope they do something.
I hope so
Because
too, man, because the fan base
it's
deserves better than this. This is
way better.
this
And
is
this could be a situation in any team, and I would feel the same thing. I would feel the same way for any team. If this was my team, anybody else's team, if they had a good season the previous year, and now this has happened, like it's inexcusable.
it's very egregious on a whole nother level, because this is one of the teams that are synonymous with the NFL. You know, you think of the NFL, there's certain names that you think of before other teams. Okay? I think of the Niners, I think of the Raiders, I think of the Steelers, I think of the Giants, I think now New England because of the culture they set, you know, with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. But
back in the days, those teams were not
they're
in like they were bad. They were the baddest teams to watch. Like they were the best teams to watch, the most exciting. That's why they are the significant names in the NFL.
Yeah. And when Al Davis was alive, I mean, he was the number one owner. Like, you know how people feel about Jerry Jones? Al Davis was that first. There's so many owners that say, my mentor, the person I looked up to or whatever, their idol was Al Davis. I mean, I don't like Jim Irsay, but when he had the press conference introducing Jeff Saturday as the head coach, he said it. This is an Al Davis move. He said, I learned from Al Davis, and Al Davis would have approved of this. And you know what? Right now, today, he don't look too stupid now, do he?
Nope. No.
At least for today, he don't look stupid. And Al Davis he's absolutely right in that sense, because if he gets a dub, he looks like the smartest guy in the room. And there's no need to change the way he is as an owner. Well, you know what? Mark, you are not your dad, because the guys you've been hiring have been nothing but losers. Every time. So you are not being proven the smartest guy in the room. You look dumber than the guys that you hired. Because at least the guys you hired got paid to swindle you, man. They finessed you.
Big
so you look dumb, and you wasted a lot of people's time. I'm dreading this, man. This is the first time we've ever done something like this. But I'm gonna switch over to those videos. I know that you probably can't hear them, but you've heard them already. I haven't.
Yeah, I mean, I can pull up the stream. So
okay, all right. Yeah, just go ahead and pull up the stream, and I'm sure there'll be a little bit of a delay on your end, but it'll just be a minor.
He's set up to be a scapegoat and to push the blame on and possibly be the one being sent off after the end of the season, which is not the right thing.
As expected to be at this point in the season. Do you have any explanation for just where this team stands right now?
I can't speak for everybody. I know where I stand, and I love the silver and black. I'm going to give it everything I can every time I go out there. And I can't speak for everybody, for every man, what's going on in their head, but I can tell you what's going on in my head, and I'm going to give it all that I can every single time.
Derek, I'm going to ask this with the utmost respect. Last year, with what you did with this team, with everything you guys went through, you endured and got to the playoffs. This year, it just seems there's frustration at times, obviously, after these losses. Is there, in any way, a disconnect with what you're trying to do and this new staff as far as the system?
I don't think so. I love Josh. I love love our coaches. They've had nothing but success, way more success than I've ever had, and, I'm sorry.
Yeah. 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 Or do you want to switch it back over?
Tinker. Um, or yeah. So let me get back to it. My bad. I forgot to add a mic source to that scene that we transitioned to. But what I wanted to say was that I love Derek Carr as a person and as an athlete. But more so as a human being. Because this reminds me of the days of Gruden, where he would stick up for Gruden, even though Gruden kind of made it very clear to everybody that he was never really bought into Derek. I mean, if you look at the hard knocks that they had with the Raiders, you could see moments where Derek was kind of like this little puppy trying to get his owner's attention and praise and things like that.
Yeah.
And Gruden would very rarely give Derek any attaboys, okay? And he's over here saying that he loves Josh McDaniels and all that, and that he don't think that there's a disconnect between the players and the staff with the way they call stuff, but he's just trying to be a good guy. He's trying to take the high road, man. This is not somebody who will ever go the low road. He's noble that way. He's like Captain America. He's just a good dude, and this breaks my heart. I see that he's wearing his Fresno thing. I got on McDaniels about wearing whatever the hell he felt like instead of Raiders gear. But this is where Derek Carr gets the pass from me to do it. He's been a good soldier for many, many weeks. And right now he needs some comfort because of the crap that he's being put through.
Yeah.
And maybe some of that comfort is being able to think about his happiest days as a football player. That's in college. And to remember that his brotherhood with Devontae it means so much more than being teammates in the pros. Like, you know, forget this bullshit, this BS. Like, maybe they clash heads here and there, but he wants to be reminded that, you know, you and I are best friends. We're brothers. My kids look to you as an uncle. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really the most important thing. You know, like you and I are the same way. We're the same way with one another, and we're the same way with a lot of our bros. Before anything happens, man, the bros come first. And
100%. Yeah.
So it hurts me to see Derek like this, to be honest, man. And I think if you're a Derek Carr hater, I think you can see this and not be a hater for a second. And if you can't, then shame on you, man. Shame on you. Just because you don't think that he's that good of a quarterback does not mean that you can't feel for the person that he is. Think about the human being before you start thinking about the accolades and lack thereof. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to continue it, and I'll switch back every time I talk because I forgot to add a mic source to the other scene. And I'll be pausing it from time to time. I don't know how long I have to be playing, you know, something that is like copyrighted or whatever. So, you know, maybe I'll do it like every 30, 35 seconds or something like that. But I'm going to continue, and then I'll move on to Devontae's, and I'll react to that. I know this is a longer thing, and we don't normally do this, but, you know.
I mean, there's just a lot to be said.
There's
a lot.
Yeah, to be honest, bro, until I see some major news happen with the Raiders, I don't think I'm going to be talking about them from here on out. Not because I'm over here being a bitter fan, but there's not anything to talk about. This is a team that is
everything
no longer...
we're talking about. That's happened. We already talked about.
Yeah, we would just be a broken record, and until like I said, it's a major news. So like Josh McDaniels getting fired or something like that, then we'll talk about them again. But they're just going to continue to lose, and we're spending our time talking about a team that, for as far as this season goes, is irrelevant. You know, and then so
they're
it's
done.
It's time to move on to other teams that need to have you know, light shine on them, like the way we've been talking about like Detroit and Chicago, and you know, their record isn't like the best, but they have promise. This team has no promise right now, so this will probably be our last week talking about them until they have major developments.
Like you said before, like how you were with the Kings. From this point on, the team's got to show you. They got to show you something to earn your respect.
Yeah, and it's not even like a respect for them. It's respect for the other teams that we cover. We want to cover the whole league, and we want to cover other teams from other sports too. And so us taking up so much time when we could be using it talking about, you know, like how I mentioned Detroit, the Bears, you know, the sleeper teams, you know, and even the ones that are really truly do have a great record right now. Like how we gave love to Minnesota. We we were on that subject for a good while, and that felt nice. You know, and
Yeah.
real talk, it feels nice talking about your team.
Yeah, because these are teams that, I mean, they're playing hard. They go out and they deserve it. They deserve the recognition.
Yes, they do. They do. So we want to show them respect. So until there's like some breaking news, we're not gonna be talking about the Raiders for a hot minute. Unless you guys talk about them, but that's the only time we're gonna talk about them is replying to people who ask us about the Raiders.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna switch it back and then yeah, like I said, in 35 seconds I'll pause it.
Derek,
You know,
sorry, continue.
to finish that, sorry for being emotional. I'm just pissed off about some of the things, you know, that a lot of us try and do just to practice what we put our bodies through just to sleep at night. And for that to be the result of all that effort pisses me off. Pisses a lot of guys off. It's hard knowing what some guys are doing. Like I said, just to practice what they're putting in their body just to sleep at night.
Oh man. That one that one does hit me, man.
Yeah.
Cause this is the thing that as you mature and really allow yourself to think of these guys as human beings before you think of them as this form of your entertainment. You need to think about what they put themselves through. So many ungrateful fans talk about the money that they make, but you don't ever take the time to understand what they put their bodies through. I'm gonna talk about myself real quick. I suffer through health problems. Really bad back. When I was young, I had a really serious accident hiking, and I crashed into a lot of boulders and trees falling off the side of a mountain. And because of what my body was trying to keep together, it like sped up the aging process of my body. So even though I'm in my 30s, I have the body of someone that is twice my age. Because trying to tough things out to live a normal life has really sped the hands of time on me. And so when an athlete retires at about my age, the physical toll that they put their bodies through, it speeds up their health. It speeds it up to where when they are an older man, they are like an ancient man.
Yeah.
They have so many surgeries, even though they hadn't played in a couple of decades. And it's because of things that they put themselves through, man. We need to start having empathy for people and know exactly what it's like to be in their shoes. So this way you can also know what to voice and what to complain about when it comes to these organizations. Forget a second about the career as far as employment, think about the health that is also being wasted. you're making guys go out there play a very physical sport that most of us, like, we would never put our bodies through. And these guys are putting all kinds of drugs into their system to the point where they might become addicted. We talk about the opioid problem, but we don't ever talk about it when it comes to the athletes. And that's something that I can relate to, because I'm always very afraid that when I am taking things to help, with the pain and all that, like, is it going to cause more damage in a different kind of way? Like addiction, is it going to be something where I'm going to feel like I can't live without it, man? That's something that I think about as a average Joe. And the way that it can mess with you psychologically, we know about the conversation of CTE, right? We made more emphasis on that. So imagine, Derek Carr and his teammates putting their bodies through so much, and it's a year worth of brain trauma that could have been avoided, or at least you could have given them and their families the respect of, if I'm going to do this, I'm doing this because we feel like we have a chance to do something very special that will make it all worth it. Right now, there's nothing worth having a losing season over.
Yeah.
Your life is not worth this game if all you're going to be is a loser.
I mean, that's why these players they put their bodies through so much through training, week in, week out, even the recovery process from game to game, to go out and try to make it, make it a good season, make it to the playoffs, go far in the season. And that's what every team tries to do. And now these players are like really like thinking that it ain't really worth it no more right now to, go out and give it your 100% all, putting everything out there for what's going on.
Should I continue playing the Derek Carr stuff, or should I go to Devontae Adams? Or like, did Derek Carr basically?
That was basically it.
That's basically it. Okay. All right. So I'll switch over. I did add my mic in there, but I think for this one, I'm seeing that it's a shorter video. I hope we don't get flagged if I just play it all the way through. So I'm gonna start it up then.
What are you feeling right now, Devontae?
Same thing as last week, same thing as all the other weeks. Pretty much.
Said, after this one, just in terms of kind of moving forward, making sure everybody kind of stays locked in here.
I mean, ain't no magic message. Just, we're gonna keep what was said in house. Wasn't nothing crazy, but just, we had the conversation we have as a team, and that's kind of that. I don't know.
What's the message from Josh McDaniels been these last couple of weeks?
It's been the same thing, a bunch of bullshit that just, doesn't allow you to move the ball and have realistic shots at converting. And that's where we lived a lot of this year, and that's what happened.
Man. Well, he just laid it all out there, man.
Yeah.
He voiced exactly how we all felt. Everything that I was saying, he repeated. So he confirmed what I thought was going on. The Play calling is trash. Doesn't allow for guys to be successful, even the best wide receiver in the NFL. I know that people will just look at the statistics and say that he's not, but that's because you're going off of something that he has no control of. He has no control over the win-loss record and how much he's being utilized, because we've seen games where, like, one game he had 1 catch for 3 yards or some shit like that.
That was the Saints game. You guys didn't score any points. How do you have that guy of this caliber and you don't at least target him 20 times?
When we had game 1, we saw him go off and had the third best Raider debut of all time or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me the dude had a slip off and is not the king of the mountain when he goes and produces. When we see him get into the triple digits, he gets in there doing it against a system that does not allow for success. I know Derek Carr said that, these guys have had so much success, way more than I ever had individually. Well, you know who put him in check? The guy that people consider the greatest head coach of all time. The plays go through him, not through Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels gives him a game plan, and guess what? It's like in Madden when you get all these suggestions for a play and you're the one that picks the damn play yourself.
Yeah.
You're getting the suggestions.
Exactly.
That's what he was doing. He'll say, I need to see this type of play. You let me know what plays you got that following this, and then from there he's like, all right, I want that play. He says, I want that. If Bill Belichick says, give me some deep threat plays, because he's like, right now in this moment, I need a deep threat. So then Josh McDaniels hurries up, gives him some options, and then he's like, okay, we'll go with plan C. Off of those deep routes. Okay. That kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Josh McDaniels, now he got nobody to check him.
He can just do whatever he wants, and it's not working.
He probably has a great playbook, but he don't know how to. He probably don't know how to execute it right. He don't know how to. He can't read the defense. He probably don't know none of this shit. That's why he had to have a head coach, and he had to be the OC, because he's not good enough.
If you look at his head coaching record, I believe the last 30 to 31 games, he's 7-24.
Wow.
7-24 as a head coach in the last 30-something games. Can I tell you what the record would be if you switched it? If him as a offensive coordinator, complete night and day.
Yeah,
because that's what he is. He is an offensive coordinator. He's a great offensive mind. He just doesn't have what it takes to be a head coach and do both.
If he never left Indy high and dry and got that second chance with Indy, I'm sure he would have never gotten a third chance at head coaching.
Mm-hmm.
Just like how this is not going to allow, unless Mark Davis is dumb enough to get his full more opportunity to finally get it right. He not getting another chance, man. But you know what? This is the NFL. They don't hire based off of your real resume, your real talents and things like that. Because otherwise, we would see a much more diverse coaching staff around the league. I've said it multiple occasions. The other broski brought it up in our earlier days of this podcast, talking about Eric Bieniemy and Brian Flores.
Yeah,
those
good names.
Those are excellent candidates. But even if I had to hire a white guy, I'd hire the dude that Indy just fired.
Oh,
He's a good
Frank Reich?
coach.
Yeah.
Frank Wright, man, he had a different QB every year, and he had to find a way to win with what he had. And Carson Wentz had his best time as an Eagle when Frank was his quarterback's coach, and then when he left to be the Indy head coach, he all of a sudden sucked. But he started to look good again. The reason why Washington wanted him was because he had his career revitalized by his quarterback coach, who was the head coach of Indy. And he wanted to keep him because he felt, I can make him be a winner. We have the weapons. And that's why Jim Irsay fired him, man, was because of that and how things didn't look good with Matt Ryan, and you know what I mean? But, I think Matt Ryan isn't going to be a quarterback much longer, to be honest. This might be his last year.
Yeah.
So he, at the end of the day, he's going to be proven right, because I don't see Matt Ryan being the younger Matt Ryan. I don't see him being the Matt Ryan that Kyle Shanahan had.
I don't see him being that Matty Ice that everyone.
Yeah, no. Now he's just an iceberg.
Matty melted. Now he's Matty melted.
Yeah, Matty melted. There you go. There you go. That's even better than what I said. He's
yeah.
My goodness, man. My goodness.
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I think Mark Davis was persuaded and bamboozled in those meetings.
Yeah, because his criteria was stupid, man. We've already broke it down.
Yeah.
They needed to guess each other's name. His new GM and his new head coach had to guess each other's name for the best candidate for the other position. That was it. I didn't realize that was such an important thing in every interview process out there. That's crazy. Crazy to me.
Yeah.
Stupid. But enough about the damn Raiders. Let's talk about a winner. Okay? I want to talk about hey man, I'm gonna take it back to Al Davis real quick, man. The name of the game is just win, baby. And so it don't matter. Hey, what did Vin Diesel tell Paul Walker in Fast and the Furious #1? Don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile.
Inch or a mile. Wins.
A win's a win, man. You never had me. You never even had your car.
That's right. Yeah, you never even had your car.
Man, dude, this game was it gave me a little bit of scares for you, man, in the beginning.
Yeah.
Chargers look the more dominant team in that first half.
They came out
swinging, man.
Came out swinging. It was a solid game plan.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert he can sling it. He's a good quarterback. He's smart. But they came out firing, trying to fire. They caught our Niner defense on their heels a little bit that first drive. They weren't expecting that. Which, I mean, that's what you got to expect that from every team. Yeah, we caught the dub. But me personally, it's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see.
You didn't want to see a dub?
I wanted to see a dub. I wanted to see a more higher offense dub. I wanted to see the pieces really moving.
Yeah, but
But this was the first week that we had all the pieces moving. Really,
Yeah,
You know,
I was gonna say
I
that
say
this
give
is.
it another week.
Yep.
Give it another week or so. It's really gonna start clicking. Now you're gonna really start seeing that high power offense.
You and I normally try not to talk when we're gonna be talking about a team like on the podcast that day. When it's the same day podcast, we try not to talk, but we talked a little bit. And I remember thinking that the game was gonna be a little bit different, and just like you did. But I did mention that I think there's some, Sunday night jitters there, man, because you guys are national television. That can happen.
It was our first Sunday night game.
First
of the season.
first one where you guys are pretty much all healthy, right? And so there's gonna be rust plus the jitters. It's a lot to overcome. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you always want to show that you can overcome any challenges, and your Niners rose to the occasion, in my opinion. And
defense
was
it was a tough game by both teams, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you really can't count this Chargers team out, with all the injuries, especially with all the injuries they have. Keenan Allen gone or out. Mike Williams out, missing key defensive players.
Major pieces.
And they're still 5-4.
Still 5-4.
They're still a sneaky team, and Austin Eckler is playing his mind out right now.
Yeah.
Not tonight, but in the last few games, like he's had really good games.
And it says a lot about both teams. When you look at the first half, okay, they were leading 16-10, and for a lot of it was 16-3, and so it looked like you didn't have a chance. But then, that's credit to them for being so good with missing so many guys and making adjustments and not making any excuses. But then also credit to you guys, because you guys, yes, you're getting everything back. Technically, you are supposed to be the more superior team because of that. But the thing is, it adds a level of difficulty because you got used to playing without guys. Certain guys had to take a little bit lesser role for the other guys returning, and that you guys were really depending on. And in that second half, you guys shut them out, man. They didn't score a single point in that second half. It remained 16 points. That is big props to you guys, because early on in your season, it was majority defense that got injured.
Yeah.
And
defense was the biggest point of this game. And
for a lot of guys, this is their second week back on defense, right? So, you know, they did get a little bit extra time, but I mean, it was still tough. It's still going to take a little while. Maybe the following week we're going to see a much better team, not be so abused in that first half. But this second half, man, I got to give them props, bro.
Defense was definitely dominant. They made the adjustments that they needed to make. And I mean, they executed it. I mean, we did lose one player due to an ejection. I don't totally agree with the ejection. It was on Dre Greenlaw. I don't know if you saw it.
No,
I understand the penalty. I understand the penalty on it. I don't understand the ejection. So I'll break down the play the best I can. Justin Herbert, he scrambles out of the pocket, crosses the line of scrimmage. He therefore becomes a runner.
Yeah.
He kind of went to slide, but he didn't do the feet first slide. He kind of did the hip slide, and Jimmy Ward hit him in the back to tackle, which then changed his direction of momentum.
Yeah.
And Dre Greenlaw was going in shoulder first to make the tackle.
Yeah.
But if he had not changed his direction from the previous hit, he
Yeah.
wouldn't have hit Justin
Yeah.
Herbert in the helmet.
Yeah.
And they didn't take that into consideration. I understand the penalty. I'll take the penalty, but
The
if you
ejection.
look at it,
Yeah.
the ejection shouldn't have been there because if you see the hit,
It wa-
the previous hit
it
changed
wasn't with
his direction.
it wasn't intentional. It was an unintentional thing.
It was not intentional, and they tried to
Um,
make the case, but they were just like, no.
See that, and that blows my mind because I didn't see that play because you and I had spoke.
Yeah, if you get
I
a
said-
chance, go watch. Go
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
it back.
because you and I had spoke that like you would pay more attention to this Niners game before we before you joined in on the Kings game, and I paid attention to the Kings game while your game was on my phone, and so I would keep looking. So that's a play that I missed, but I remember I believe it was in the first half. There was, I think, an even more egregious thing that happened, still unintentional. Asante Samuel got, was it Elijah Mitchell? He made a play on somebody with dreads.
Was it Brandon Ayuk?
Oh, you know what? It was probably Brandon Ayuk. Yes. It was Brandon Ayuk. Asante Samuel goes after Brandon Ayuk. And it might have been the play where he fumbled the ball.
The fumble the ball.
Yeah.
Well, he was leading with his head, right?
He got twisted, right? So he's spinning, and because of that, Derwin James was going in, and head first gets him in the head. That's what dislodged it. It wasn't any contact to the ball.
He hit him in the head, and then the deflection of the helmet to the ball hit the ball out.
Yeah. So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and so I was like,
And in
man, that was a
in
big
that
hit to
play-
the head.
And in that play, Ayuk is being spun by the defender, so then he is
Yes.
like he has no control. over that.
He's defenseless.
He's being spun into a hit. Like,
Yeah, and so it's adding way more torque
know.
into that. It's a even harder helmet to helmet collision, and I thought that should have been a penalty, even though it was unintentional. But I don't know what these refs are saying, man. I don't know if if it's because they're in Cali and they know that the 420 is legal. They were like a little bit on something, but I thought there was some
Either
bad
that-
calls,
I thought-
bad no calls.
I think the one on Justin Herbert, I don't agree with the ejection. I mean, even some of the commentators didn't agree with the ejection.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really like look at it. They were kind of just like, it's already said.
No,
and
yeah,
done. We're moving on.
It falls
you
under
gotta-
the penalty thing, and you just got to take it. Yeah, I get
And
it.
I
I
also
get it.
think I also think that like I appreciate them taking in consideration for like CTE and everything going on that happened with Tua. Like I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Having player safety. But if you look at it, it was not intentional. These
Yeah.
are the things that happen when guys are playing 100%. You know, if Dre Greenlaw were to try to change his direction with his body, he's probably risking hurting himself more
Yeah.
than hurting another person.
Yeah,
Like, you know
yeah.
how hard it is to change your direction when you've already committed to try to make a tackle.
Yeah, and
You know,
they're
like-
they're being told that they have to do that because
Mm-hmm.
you're not allowed to land on the quarterback a certain way and all that. So you have to put them down as softly as possible while going at 100% speed. And so all these rule changes, all that does is just it adds for unfortunate things to happen, like what you just mentioned, you know. And man, dude, it sucks.
Yeah, it was.
But
It was unfortunate
sucks.
because it was early in the game. This was right at halftime. Right,
I don't
right before
understand.
halftime.
I don't understand why you don't have the same rule for all the other positions. You know, because in that moment with Brandon Ayuk, dude was defenseless. He, like I said, you know, there's more torque being done to him by spinning into Derwin James.
He was really wrapped up. Like he couldn't go no.
He was wrapped up, twisted, and so he's like his head's flinging in to some. It's literal collision like that. This is Brandon Ayuk. He would have been fine, right? Because then Derwin James would have been right here, hit the guy across the body, okay? But because he got turned, his head goes in and dips into that helmet-to-helmet contact. And
yeah,
dude, I wouldn't have been surprised if they were lightweight concussed, because there's more evidence that says that that it actually takes a lot less trauma to cause a concussion. And I remember Brett Favre, before all this other crap that he was in the news for, right before that, he said, with the new information that's coming out, I probably had hundreds and hundreds, maybe even 1,000 concussions because of how they're explaining it. And he's like, I fall under all those categories with every time I played a game. I probably had a couple mini concussions throughout the game. And so there's no way that these guys escaped without getting a concussion on that play. And yeah, there should be, I was really confused and lost for words that no one even bothered to like say something to the ref. I didn't see anybody on the sideline. I didn't see Kyle Shanahan be like, yo man, did you see what this dude did to my guy? I didn't see none of that. They were just like, okay, it was a tackle kind of thing. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
It was a head scratcher to me, man.
Yeah.
But God forbid it happens to, your quarterbacks. But I don't know. I didn't like seeing that. But man, did you guys play a hell of a second half, bro?
It was also big for, I mean, the offense playing from behind as well,
Yeah.
I was really excited to see Elijah Mitchell back out there, coming back from his MCL sprain in the second week.
Yeah, and I was encouraged seeing Debo out there.
Debo too, coming off a hamstring. Especially Kyle Juszczyk back from broken finger. It's just good to see these guys back out here. They're now all start, to get a feel with playing with each other on a field together.
Yeah.
They
didn't use.
there's gonna be some experiments.
They didn't use Kyle in any plays, did they?
Yeah, they did.
They did?
Juszczyk? He was more of a blocker.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, they only used him for blocking, right? They didn't use him like how they would normally. Because he's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, he comes big on third downs and stuff. But he was definitely a big role in the run blocking game.
Yeah, I'm sure Elijah appreciated it. I'm sure Jimmy appreciated it, because I mean, you're using him also as a blocker for him to just chip block somebody or what have you.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, this was I kept looking, man, and you guys kept battling it out, bro. It was like a very physical game. And it lasted way longer than I expected.
Me going into the game, I didn't think it was going to be that tough of a game. I had a feeling that they would have the Charger would give us a little fits in the beginning, but I didn't think it would be like that. I thought it would be,
I didn't think it would be defensive heavy. I thought it was going to be a shootout.
Yeah. I mean, the Chargers defense actually stepped up in this
Big
game,
time.
which
I mean, they only had one sack. They only had one sack, but they
that was with Khalil Mack.
Khalil Mack, and so one sack, but everything else was like, we're not gonna give up
Yeah,
too many
their coverage. Their coverage was good, and they also did some really good job at
out of 3 and
stopping the
outs.
run a little bit. A lot of three, yeah, get us 3 and out. Like
Yeah.
they did a really good job. It was
You
just
know,
our defense shutting them down in the second half, which
but you know
prevailed
what?
to.
I think also what's so crazy that probably kind of went unnoticed was you and I also talked about the weather and how
Yeah,
that probably affected because I saw a lot of bad kicking and punting. It was real sketchy.
yeah.
And so, like, not being able to get the type of airtime and yardage that you would from your guys'
Also,
punter.
the weather when it cools down, the ball doesn't travel as far.
Yeah.
The ball does like you didn't see a lot of touchbacks. You saw the ball kind of die out
Yeah.
in the air, which is usually you see a lot of touchbacks because Robbie Gould's got a leg.
Yeah.
Wisnowski has a leg. He's a good punter. Like, and
Yeah.
you
You
rarely
got,
see Robbie Gould miss. He missed a field goal, which I rarely
yeah.
see him
Yeah.
miss. So it
And
was
that's,
kind of weird,
and
you
that's,
know?
and that's when I texted you because
Yeah.
he had that miss and I was like, what? Like,
Yeah.
he's one of the better guys in the league. And then, your guys' punter, I mean, this dude gets talked about like as like this special teams like superstar because
He does things when he punts the ball that makes it kind of
it's a lot of
deceiving to catch.
because
Because you'll
the
go to
hang
catch
time
it and then it just
and then
dies
it curves.
out.
Yeah.
And it comes back. So like if you're going to catch it, it's not going to come down like this. It's going to come down like that. It's going to boomerang back.
Yeah.
So they kind of got to dive for it. So which he's really good at getting those.
And he had none of
plays
that
to get the ball back.
he had none of that this time, and so he was giving up a lot of yards that you normally would not see, and I was like, "Holy crap, man! This is why you guys are down."
That's why towards the end of the game, he ended up kicking it more to the sideline.
Yeah.
Not giving them a chance to return it and try to get whatever pin back he can by this going out of bounds.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But even then, like he was
back.
Even then when it was like going out of bounds, it was still you guys were getting, more yards than what you're used to. Having to less yards actually. I guess you would say less yards to defend. And so, that's another thing that's impressive. You guys overcame some bad weather that affected your guys' special teams guys, man. And you would think it's not that much, but for those that have never visited the Bay Area, that place is colder than what it says. Like on the temp, it gets cold. And then the way a stadium is built, it's gonna like have if it comes down and it pockets in there and it does something.
I'll tell you, man,
that ball is harder. The ball is harder. It's probably starts to lose some of the
density.
Yeah, and becomes heavier because of it, and so it's harder to control it the way that you're normally used to. And then with the wind, you'll get like a random gust, and so then it's, and I think that's why you guys missed that kick. Is that little bit of wind. It's not much, but you don't need much in those kinds of conditions.
Definitely don't.
Is there anything else that stood out to you about this game?
Not much. I mean, Jimmy had an okay game. We saw okay Jimmy. We didn't see great Jimmy. Like I said, he has 4 different levels to him. He had bad Jimmy, he got okay Jimmy, he had great Jimmy, good Jimmy. But I mean, the more they play together, I think the better this offense is gonna be.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know what we need to mention is the fact that your guys' O-line did really well. Only giving up the 1 sack, and you guys
Yeah,
are dealing with injuries when it comes to your O-line.
yeah. The only solid ones we got right now in the mix is McClinchy and Trent Williams. Those are our
Yeah.
solid 2
Yeah.
guys. I think
But who
all the
was
others are
it?
kind of.
Who was it that was being talked about a lot? Wasn't it the right guard or was it the left guard?
I think it was the left guard.
Okay, yeah. Because he's subbing in for someone who's a Pro Bowler.
Oh no, the right guard.
Okay, that's what
think.
it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, they were trying to attack him and abuse him. And
Yeah, they did a good job.
He held his own, man.
With stopping the rush was they did really good.
This
for the
and
most
this
part.
this is why I feel so confident about your team. You know, this is another week of me saying good things about your team, man. Which is, you know, saying a lot because, you know, I thought my year was going to be going better so we could trash talk, but now I'm just constantly
Yeah.
giving you flowers, man. Let me give
Yeah.
you one more piece of flowers, man. Show the people your jacket, dog. You got a piece of retro right there behind you, man.
Oh, yeah, I had to pull this out of box and dust it off. I totally forgot.
And you
This
said
thing is
it's
like
your
older.
dad's, right?
Yeah, this thing's older than me, man, and I'm 26.
Yeah.
I'll show
You showed me a picture, but show the people at home, man, because that jacket,
thing-
man,
Let's
bring back
memories, man.
it brings back memories to me, dog, because when I was a kid growing up, and because I was born,
I gotta be fragile with it, man.
I was born
Dust.
I was born in '88, and so you know, a lot of things from like the early '80s, shoot, even the late '70s were still being rocked by dudes in the early '90s. So,
Yeah.
but I remember a lot of jackets being very similar in style. Like when people sold you know, team gears and stuff, like a lot of them were not that much different from one another. It was just a different paint job and a different logo. And I remember seeing cowboy jackets like that. I remember seeing Raider jackets like that, Green Bay Packer jackets like that.
It definitely gives off like you know when you get those starter jersey, the starter jackets. You know?
Yeah, man.
This is a pro line jacket. So it's the
Okay.
NFL Pro line. Yeah, it's
Yeah, man. That
this is
thing's
my
nice,
dad's.
bro.
This was
Thing's
like
sweet,
back. He
no?
got this back in the 80s.
And
Yeah.
you know what? You having long hair, like it just make me think of dudes from back in those days too, man. Because your hair's also like a little bit curly and stuff, man. So and a lot of white dudes back in those days had a curly little mullet in the back. You know?
Yeah.
looking like Billy Ray Cyrus, achy breaky
Yeah.
heart. You know. Yeah, dog.
Definitely.
You giving me so many of those vibes, dog. That, dude, the memories are just flooding in of seeing people walk around Walmart, Kmart, in those jackets, man. I'm telling you,
This big puffy jacket. Yeah.
yeah, dog. That
Oh yeah. I was like remembering. I was like, Dad, don't I have something like? Because I think I saw I saw one of those like NFL store commercials or whatever. I was like thinking about getting some new merch, and I was like, don't I have some stuff? And I went into the box to grab it, and I was like, oh, I had to dust the cobwebs off. Because this thing, I kept it in a box because I didn't want it to, you know, get used a lot because it's old, it's fragile. Like if it's
Yeah.
even kind of tearing a little bit up here, I want to get it re-sewed. But
yeah,
it's, you know, this thing's from the 80s, man.
yeah, man. That thing's sweet, dog. You should
Yeah.
like go show that off at like some of those like those sports memorabilia stores. See if they
Yeah.
recognize that. See if they be like, yo, where'd you get that from, dog? Because you know, there's
Yeah.
a lot of like those kinds of stores that have things from like, from forever ago. And
These are even the type of jackets that the players would wear back in the day.
yeah, that's
On the
why they were so
sideline, like,
popular.
this is
yeah.
what this is what they would wear.
Yeah, that's why they were
Like-
so popular with fans, bro.
Yeah.
Is because
Yeah.
like back in those days, they whatever gear that the players can get themselves.
They didn't have
The
hoodies.
fans-
they didn't
yeah.
have pullover hoodies. They had these big ass puppy jackets.
Yeah, it was like windbreaker stuff and that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, you should definitely go to one of those places, man, because they probably have like autographed old Niner gear stuff, and they're gonna be like,
Oh yeah.
they might make an offer on it, and you probably like, if you really want to flex on your dad, man, get like a signed Joe Montana card. Be like, I gave
like
up
do
this.
a trade up.
I gave a jacket for this work of art right here, and then you're just show off the work of art because it'll be like, what?
Yeah.
What kind of
Yeah.
fruity thing did you get? You said art, and then you'd be like, hey man, chill, man.
A piece of
I ain't no pansy. Okay, I'm not talking about getting a Da Vinci. I'm talking about a piece of art that you and I could appreciate. Something that you would give a thumbs up if you could.
Yeah.
It's an inside
You can
joke.
only give a half a thumbs up. 1.5 thumbs up.
Oh man, I'm evil for that, bro.
Little backstory. My dad is missing half a thumb. He's like,
Yeah, he got hungry.
looks like this.
He got hungry, man. He put some seasoning on that thumb and just bit that son thing off, man.
Yeah. Damn. But not much for me to talk about. I went through the Cowboys lost. That's good.
Who else in your division lost, man? Oh shoot, the Cardinals
The
won.
Rams lost.
Yeah, well, somebody
The
had
Rams
to win.
lost, though.
Somebody had to win or
Somebody had to
lose.
win. The Rams were the closest team to us.
Yeah, dude, what's that losing streak at now?
But no, look at it like this. The Cardinals won, and Kyler wasn't playing. Kyler was not playing. Kyler Murray was not playing. Colt McCoy was playing.
That's what I was about to look at. I was like, is it him? Is it the man, the myth, the legend, Colt McCoy?
Shady McCoy.
No. Colt McCoy.
Colt McCoy.
Back in the day, he was a first round pick, man. I remember, I was a Colt McCoy fan when he came out of the draft because this dude balled out in Texas, bro.
Yeah.
He was a Texas legend, and I thought he was gonna be something, man. But he proved me wrong. But tonight, he was like, "It's Brucey's time to shine."
Brucey's time to shine. I mean, he had a good game, man. Like, I mean, definitely they look better as a team.
I mean,
without Kyler.
Hey, both teams was playing without their starting QB though. So
Yeah. Stafford was not in there. I don't even know who the hell John Wolford is.
he's another
Never
myth
heard of him.
and legend, but only to people that are around the Wake Forest area. Because the only Walford I know was actually it's similar spelling. It's Walfork. The fat ass that played for the Patriots back in the day.
Oh, Vince Wilfork.
Wilfork. There
Vince
you go.
Wilfork. Yeah. Vince
Oh,
will
man.
fork up some food.
Cowboys losing is a good thing.
To the Packers too.
Yeah, man.
To A-Rod.
So,
Who only scored 9 points last week. And they scored 31 on them.
dude, terrible. I wonder if they were like
And the
changed-
famous words of Shannon Sharp, it's a good day when the Cowboys lose.
Yeah.
Over here with my celebratory drink. It's a good day when the Cowboys lose.
But Skip Bayless though is gonna be highly upset that they did not put in Cooper Rush.
Yeah, because Skip Bayless tweeted. He said, "I miss Cooper Rush."
He did.
Yeah,
I didn't look it up, bro. I didn't look it up. I was just guessing.
He's literally said, "I miss Cooper Rush," and that was it.
Damn.
Dak threw 2 interceptions.
Both QBs threw for 3 touchdowns, but one of them threw 2 interceptions.
2 interceptions.
Yo,
And Zeke didn't play. Tony Pollard got the start. Zeke did not play either.
dude, this is making more controversy between Zeke haters
And Tony.
and Pollard supporters.
Lovers. The Pollard lovers. When all the Cowboys are just lovers of each other.
Damn, bro. You would think that Dak Prescott would know that Rudy Ford was not one of his wide receivers. I guess he was out too long.
I mean, could he tell, man?
You couldn't tell, man. What you mean that Dak thinks racist thoughts?
No, I mean like how like you would think he could tell that he's not on his team.
Oh, because he's colorblind?
No, because he's wearing green.
Well, that's why I'm saying he's colorblind. If he is, because he could say that. He could say, "I didn't know he wasn't on my team." He's colorblind. But
I
then
can't see the color green and yellow.
Hey, but remember what I said last time? Hey, dumbass, you got a big old G on the side of your head.
Yeah. you got a star.
Yeah.
A golden star.
Because last time it was because we were talking about Aaron Rodgers throwing to the wrong dudes on Detroit. And I was like, well, bruh, you don't got a picture of a lion on the side of your helmet. You got a letter G on the side of yours, bro. What the heck? Which also makes it even more impressive that the Detroit Lions is continuing to win.
Yeah.
See, I might have been wrong about the Raiders, but who wasn't wrong about the Raiders? But how many was wrong about the teams that I said are very promising? And who's right over here right now? You know, your boy over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You right.
I ain't heard nobody in the media say, look at the Detroit Lions or the Chicago Bears. I hear them getting diss tracked all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And I said they got some nice things, man.
To this day. Just to this day.
And I was right still to this day about the long hair don't care Trevor Lawrence. Sunshine is trash yet again.
Yep.
Losing to Kansas City. Goddamn, man.
Yeah.
I hate being right so often. I have to toot my own horn on that. Cause I'm actually paying attention to the league, man. I'm going out on a limb because others they don't have the courage of their convictions. There might have been some people who like these teams, but they'd rather take the wussy way out, man. They a bunch of sissies. They don't want to say, oh man, Justin Fields,
City boy.
Yeah,
City boy.
I can't even hit that note, man. But
City boy.
Justin Fields. The reason why his last name is Fields because he run all over people, man. He run
all over the field, man.
All over the field. You can't stop that dude, man.
Man.
Them Detroit Lions, those Detroit Lions might be young Simbas today, but they will be the King Simba of pride. Yeah, they will be Mufasas, Simbas, and even Scars, man. You give it some time, bro. Now they just baby lions. Give us some time, and you'll see that the king has returned. But speaking about kings,
The Kings.
we need to talk about the kings, baby.
Kings. Not just any Kings, the Sacramento Kings. Put some respect on the name.
On the name, sir.
Put
Were
some
you
respect
were,
on it.
were you able to watch them as you were watching the Niner game, or were you
Bro, let me tell you, I was watching both games closely. I had one game on my computer. I had one game on my TV, man. They were going at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah, I got you.
And
man.
when one went to break, I was watching the other. Like,
I
I
hear
was
you.
still in there.
So
I especially played even closer to the Kings game when it was down to the last 6 minutes of the game on the game clock. When they were making this comeback.
So for the people at home that don't know, today Golden State came to the capital of California, which is Sacramento. Don't be. I have to put that. I have to put that out there because a lot of you think that Los Angeles is the capital of California, but it ain't. Capital Cali
Capital
is
of trash. Capital
Sacramento,
trash.
man. Sacramento, Macramento, Swaggermento,
Yeah.
you know, the Yay area. Okay, there's the Bay Area, and then there's the Yay area, and a lot of people consider that to be Sacramento. So don't get it twisted. Okay, they came to our house, and we didn't forget. We didn't forget that Klay Thompson couldn't hang with Red Velvet and fouled his ass, and the refs called a BS no call and told us it wasn't no foul. Right
Standing
now,
all high and mighty right there at the end of the game while they're trying to make their case. They were like, nah, don't even look at me. I made the right call. Get out of here, man.
And that didn't happen.
BS.
That didn't just happen once. It happened twice. Okay, it happened. It happened to the Miami Heat, and you would think that they wouldn't have did us like that, but they did, because even though they had evidence of it happen already against Miami, they were like, nah. When it comes to the Warriors can do no wrong in my eyes. Well,
yep.
What did I say that the Kings needed to do? I told you, you and I had conversations. What did I tell you about this shit? I said it from the very beginning too. If you think about it, with all the foul troubles, what kind of reputation we was gonna have? So
We foul a lot.
So what did I say? In order for you to get a dub, what you got to do? You got to put teams away. Don't let them come back.
Yes.
I said, you need to handle your business, because you can't rely on the refs, because they think you nothing but foulers, that you don't know how to follow the rules. You know nothing about the rules. So why would you even come to me complaining that someone broke the rules when all you do is break the rules?
Big time. And the Kings did just that, man. They put away the game when they needed to put away the game. And man,
I have to say something. Something in my soul. Something that you see in the box. It's about the Fox and Ox. We, the baddest, we the best. And the league said, you ain't gonna play the Warriors once. You ain't gonna play them twice. You gonna play them 3 times. Another one. All in 30 days. And that didn't faze us, baby. 115 to 122. We got a better record than you. We might be 6-6, but really, baby, we know it's more. It's 8-4. So if you a hater, close that door. 'Cause we about to go get more of these dubs. Show us some love.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was some damn. Put it on a record, man. Put it on a record.
I had to, man. So we had a bad
Had
first
to.
quarter. We had a bad first quarter, but you know what? We remembered. We remembered the other two games. We know that one was stolen from us. We know we should have been up in this regular season series 1-2, or 1-1, and this would be 2. Okay, so we went and handled business. We didn't leave it to the refs. We took it into our own hands from the second quarter on, baby. It was
Dominance.
It was the Kings, not the Kings. The Kings.
Kings.
The Kings have returned.
Yes, man. And boy, oh boy, to see the growth every game by game, man.
Game by game,
Game
dog.
by game, dude.
Preach, bro. It's Sunday. Preach.
Oh,
A lot of people didn't go to
man,
church.
to
Preach,
see-
man.
to see the growth this team has, man. To see them all play off of each other, man. Especially if one guy is not having a good night, another guy steps up and has a great night.
Yeah.
Coach Brown has been preaching to these guys to finish games, put them away, ice them, get them the heck out of here. And what have we seen back-to-back games? What have we seen? Dubs. And you know why? Because we closed out
Why?
the game. De'Aaron Fox stepped up. Domantas Sabonis stepped up. They closed out games. And that's what they did. They played great defense, got stops in crucial time, and just go out and flat out won the game.
Bruh.
And that's gonna make or break this team. And it make or break good teams if you're able to go out there and close games.
I have something to put out there. I excuse the lighting real quick, man. I had to look it up on my computer real quick. The next game we have is gonna be on national television.
TNT, boy.
And we on a 3-game winning streak. And this league, the fan base of this league, is gonna experience how this team is not the same broke down Kings from this long ass drought. This is different. This is
I don't even want to talk about the drought.
this is the
We
type
on the
of
new.
stuff.
We on the new right now.
This is the type of stuff that you saw in the 90s when we traded for C-Web. Who's our C-Web? Sabonis.
It's a boner time.
And we had a young dude by the name of White Chocolate. Who's our White Chocolate? De'Aaron Fox. Swiper, no swipey. We have the fox and the ox, baby.
The fox and the
And then we have some vets. What vets did they have? They had a Doug Christie. They had a Vlade Divac. And who do we got? We got a Harrison Barnes. Okay, we got a Kevin Herter. And then they had another young fella from back in the day named Peja Stojakovic. We have a young fella who looks like he gonna be something special like Peja, just in a different way. And his name is Keegan Murray.
Murray.
Okay?
Yes.
Murray time. The next
Murray time.
Tim Duncan, in my
Yes.
opinion. The next Timmy, man. Okay? So we are building something. And then look at the sixth man who would come later in the olden days. Who did we have? We had a Bobby Jackson, B-Jax. Who do
Jax, boy.
who do we have? We have Malik.
Malik Monk. Mr. Band-Aid.
And then we had other guys, other nice role players. And then I would say that we also have nice role players. We got a Terrence Davis, TD.
TD.
We got a Davion Mitchell,
The other Mitchell.
the other Mitchell, not the Donovan, the one that only knows how to
gave-
score. This is a two-way player.
Who gave Donovan Mitchell the business when they
Yep.
played?
Yep.
Yep.
Um,
We got. Who else we got? We got Chemezi Metu.
yeah. And then in our back pocket, whenever we need them, we got Rashawn Holmes, who was considered one of the better big men before we got
Yep.
Sabonis. Okay. And then we also got Alex Lynn, who ain't too bad himself, man. He's a solid role guy. He knows he's a role guy, and that's what you need is guys who know their roles. Everything that a good team needs to have a culture is give me some definitions, man, of my role on the team. Define my role, define my minutes. Let me know, plain and simple, what I got to do to be in the game and all that stuff, man. I need to know the mindset I need to have game in and game out, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have no clashing heads. Like, I know we all have love for guys like Buddy Hield. We have love for BBA, aka Bodan Bogdanovic. But when we had them on our team, we were clashing with who should have the ball at the end of games, who should be the facilitator and all this other stuff.
Yep.
Who should the offense run through, man? Who, all this stuff, bro. We would see
Yep.
dudes play hero ball. We lead the league in assisting the assisters, the ball moving around in touches, man. Touches per possession. We lead the league in that. That's huge, dude. That means that you
Big time.
confusing guys, dude. You confusing defenses. I don't know where we rank offensively or defensively, but you can just look from the eye test that the things that actually matter are being done. That you're trying to do your best to play complete games every time you're out there. You're making quick adjustments. This is the NBA more than any other sports league is reading and reacting. And these guys are proving themselves, man. And the chemistry is showing every single game. I'm seeing crazy passes without even knowing that a guy is like, without having to look. Okay? Just knowing that you should be in this spot. I should be able to, like, if I got too high of a pass and I got to, like, volleyball bop that thing across the court, that you're going to be in that one spot. I seen that a couple
Yep.
times.
That's the trust that they have in the chemistry that these guys have with one another, that they're gonna be there. Like, like if I can't see you,
Yeah.
but if I pass this ball, I'm gonna trust that you're gonna be there. And most times, they're there. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
which is fantastic, man.
Fantastic, dude.
Fantastic.
Let's look at.
And I want to add. I want to
Go ahead.
add on what you were talking about with
Go
Buddy
ahead.
Hield
Yeah.
and Bogdan, and how we couldn't find somebody to facilitate at the end of games to close out games. We got one now.
Yeah.
We've had him all this time.
Yep.
That's Mr. De'Aaron Fox,
Dude.
who has stepped up huge, even more than he has in the last couple seasons. He has now become a vocal leader
He filled up
on
the
the
stat
court.
sheet.
He filled up the stat sheet, become a vocal leader, and leads the team now twice. I'd say 3 times to close out game.
Yeah.
And man, he's an all-star. He's an all-star.
If he
100%.
continues,
He continues this, he's an all-star.
he's an all-star. And
no, I'm not talking. He continues to do this, and we win games. We have a good season. He could be first team all-star. That's how good I think he could be.
Yeah, well, that's a popularity contest. He ain't gonna win that, bro.
I still think you should.
Well, bro, think about it, man. Okay, in the West, you got Steph,
Curry.
you got Dame, you got
John Morant.
John Morant, you got you got some other names, man, that kind of stick out before Foxy does, man. But
yeah,
I believe that he will be on that roster if this team continues to play well, because if outside of LeBron James, okay, I don't see, because of the popularity thing, I don't see any other Laker making it if they continue to have a bad team. You don't put Anthony Davis on that team if they're trash. Okay? Because as of right now, what I gotta check the standings. Dude, I don't even know how to use this app. Probably better for me to just go to Google.
Lakers are 3-10.
They're 3-10. Okay, so as of right now, you putting somebody on there outside of a popularity contest that's 3-10. I don't think so, because at that point it's players and coaches that start to put guys in for the rest of the positions. It's the starting 5 that is 100% fan base. If Anthony Davis gets in there, that's because the fan base wanted him over somebody else that deserves that spot. But outside of that, dude, I mean, look, as of right now, we're the 9th seed. Okay, if we beat the Nets, man, we're just moving on up, bro. And the Nets are 6-8. They're the 12th seed in the East.
We got the Nets, the Spurs, Pistons at home right now. That's a 3-game stretch at home.
I'm not sure if can you look that up real quick to see if Kyrie Irving will be available for this game? Because he's suspended currently, and it's only a 5-game suspension. I don't know when it started and how many games in they are now.
This was what's this?
Hey,
so this was on the 11th.
Okay.
This is even though Kyrie Irving's suspension could end after Saturday's game, which was this Saturday against the Clippers, there's reportedly still uncertainty over whether he will return to the court after the suspension.
Got you. I'm gonna be right back. You keep talking to the fans real quick.
Yeah. So it's kind of up in the air where he'll be. I don't know for sure if he's going to be playing tomorrow. But if he doesn't, it's just going to be an even more discombobulated Nets team. I mean, they got Kevin Durant, but they are on paper not even. I mean, they're not looking like a good team right now. Just with everything going on in the media between them, their chemistry. It's with they just got a new coach. So it's not a good situation for them. But I want to bring it back to the Kings. Had a rough first quarter. Played really 3 solid quarters of basketball, especially the fourth quarter where they stepped up on defense even more, and closing out that game between De'Aaron and Sabonis. Sabonis went huge, 34 minutes, 26 points, 22 boards, 22 rebounds, 8 assists, only a couple assists away from a triple-double. That's big boy numbers right there. De'Aaron, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists. That's solid play. Kevin Huerter, 17 points. Malik Monk off the bench, 12 points. Keegan Murray, 21 points, 4 rebounds. Keegan had 3 steals in this game. 3 steals. That's fantastic defense. I don't want to speak upon Keegan Murray. He has not had the best of games lately. We follow the Kings heavily, and I mean and then a lot of people around the league are not fans of the league are not going to follow the Kings because we don't get that recognition that we deserve right now. But Keegan has been dealing with something personally, and it was addressed by his father, through social media, who decided to make that decision to speak upon the situation. And Keegan, he said Keegan's gonna be okay as a player. He's going through a rough part of his life right now. His grandmother just had a stroke and all this stuff, and us King fans and all the King fans around, we sent our prayers to his family, all that. Keegan and his family have nothing but support and love from the city and the fan base. And it was really nice to see Keegan come out, have a really good game on what's going on with him and his family. And it was just really, 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 really good to see that. And he spoke upon it in the post game, which was great.
Okay, what I miss?
Oh, I was talking about how everyone did the stat sheets, played 3 great quarters. The first quarter wasn't so good. Domantas Sabonis putting up big boy numbers, 26, 22, and 8. Couple assists away from a triple-double. That's big boy numbers. De'Aaron, 22, 4, and 8. Malik, 12, 1 and 4. Huerter, 17, 5, and 4. And then I capped it off with Keegan. And I talked a little about what Keegan's been going through in these last stretch of games.
Yeah.
It was finally kind of brought to light by Keegan's father and his family, which they made the decision to speak upon that.
Mm-hmm.
And Keegan's grandmother and stuff, and her recent health problems. She had a stroke. But I wouldn't say that as Kings fans, across the country. They they show nothing but prayers and love to the Keegan Murray, to the Murray family,
Yeah.
and they have nothing but support for this guy. And it was really good to see him, kind of break that kind of slump tonight, and he
Yeah.
had a good
Yeah.
game. He had a really good game.
You know what I've noticed
And
about him so far, which helps because like right now we have a history of not being very good at home, and I've noticed
Mhm.
that he's had probably his best games being
games
at
at
home.
home, yeah.
I think he'll start to give.
It was also right around the time the first road trip. That
Uh,
is when this happened. So they weren't
yeah,
able to travel with him.
gotcha.
He went on the road by himself without the comfort of his family being there to watch him.
Yeah,
To be there after the games and stuff like that. So it kind
yeah,
of took a little bit of toll on him. But now
yeah,
that they're back home. His grandmother's, doing well.
yeah.
He even said after the game, she's opened her eyes. She's able to speak and
That's
see,
beautiful,
and
man.
she's doing
Yeah,
better.
that's beautiful to hear.
So it made me tear up. He was like, "Yeah, I really wanted to 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 have a good game so that she could watch and see." And I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
"Yes."
yeah.
And
And he came up
his
big.
father spoke about it. He's like, "Don't worry about Keegan. He's gonna be fine." And he's a rookie, man. He's our rookie,
Yeah,
and everyone's gonna go through slumps. Vet players go through slumps.
yeah,
It's all part of the process.
yeah,
But I have no doubt that this kid is gonna be great.
yeah. I hope that I hope as the season comes along, we can see his growth happen more and more. I think he has a
Yeah.
lot of good mentorship around him with his
Oh
teammates.
yeah.
Um,
hmm
and I I think with something like this, it only helps strengthen the bond between teammates and will help him become a better player as well because of
Yeah.
that type of bond.
Yeah, and I'm
Because we
and
talk
I'm
about.
I'm pretty sh-
Go ahead, bro.
I'm
Go
pretty
ahead.
sure that if they didn't know, like, if his team, like, I'm pretty sure, like, behind the locker room, they're all close.
Yeah,
They go to dinner together. They spend time together as a team. I'm pretty sure his teammates have seen something,
yeah,
and I'm pretty sure they've known and they were there for him. Uh, if they didn't, now they do.
yeah.
So now they can be there for him.
Mhm.
And that's only gonna make this team better, man. Like,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure every single one of these guys were there for him to pick him up when all the times that he either made a mistake or got caught in a foul that shouldn't have been called on him, or somebody took advantage of him being a rookie. They're like, "Hey man, shake it off, let's pick it up, let's keep going." Like, that's what the team's all about.
yeah.
And
But
that's the culture that we're trying to build here.
yeah, so like what I was gonna say about during a moment like that where you see that guys step up in a very difficult time in your life. I
Mhm.
don't know if he's ever experienced losing a grandparent yet, but this could have been the closest that he's gotten. Um, and if so, hey man, how much would that mean to you if these people that you just started knowing stepped up in that kind of way, especially
Yeah.
ones that are very established in the league, and they're much more wealthier than you, and they could be doing anything with their lives, man. We hear all the time stories of teammates that aren't very good teammates, like Aaron Rodgers. I do not believe he is a good teammate to any of his former and current teammates.
Yeah.
I bet we're not going to hear too many stories of him stepping up during hard times that a teammate has gone through with some kind of crisis, and
Yeah.
and that wouldn't surprise me. But you know, we spoke about the chemistry of these guys and things like that. It helps build the chemistry even more. It helps having that faith, because part of making certain plays is having faith in a guy to be there. So not only is the guy there, you know, with you to help keep mind off of things, it could have been through extra practice time and things like that. But whatever it is to help comfort you, like then when you're in the game and you're like in a slump, like you're having a hard time. Well, you know, just because we were super tight off the court didn't mean that we can't be super tight on the court. So like, let's keep it going, man.
Yeah.
Encourage
Yeah.
him and all that. And I'm sure that's happening because it looks like everybody's playing for one another, man. It's no longer it's no longer the way it was when De'Aaron had the other guys on the team, where dudes were playing for themselves. Even like, and we could talk about this now, because I know that there's a lot of people that talk about the tweet that DeMarcus Cousins put out. But that's a perfect example as well of another team that was playing very selfishly. They didn't trust each other like that. They didn't have that much love for one another. They probably had a good friendship off the court, but on the court, I don't think there was too many dudes that were really there for one another. I mean, I know that DeMarcus got in fights with people. Early in his career, he got into a fight on a plane. And it's funny, that player's name, his last name, is also Green. So, you know, think of Draymond Green. But this dude was on the Kings. Man, I always forget his first name, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, it also starts with a D. But this dude would always be smiling, cracking jokes. You never saw him being upset over losses, and that during his time as a King, there was a lot of losses. He was on some really bad teams, and this is a guy that didn't get disgusted with losses. DeMarcus Cousins, the thing that you can say about him, whether you like him or not, is losses bothered him. And to see,
like to lose.
And he didn't like to see teammates goofing off, having fun, dapping it up with other guys that just kicked your butt. He didn't like that. Like there's that famous scene of him grabbing Isaiah Thomas and not allowing him to be cordial with Chris Paul.
Yeah.
When he was a Clipper. And so there was an incident when they were on an airplane. This dude was cracking jokes, smiling, and they just got their butts kicked, and DeMarcus couldn't take it no more. And they threw down.
Yeah.
And so I don't see this team doing things like that. I see this team having serious talks. I do see them, you know, there's probably going to be times where the conversation gets a little heated. But I don't think that these guys are trying to fight each other at all. I think they truly like each other a lot. Like I see it when the way they play. Part of the reason I have so much joy watching them is seeing the joy that they have playing.
Yeah.
And even though the losses suck, they do keep their heads held up high, because they're like, we're almost there. It's just about better execution. I don't know if you saw the interview on ESPN that they had of De'Aaron Fox
on NBA Today.
Yeah. So, you know, they kind of talked about it a little bit, and he said that there's a ton of games, like pretty much every game we were in all of them.
Yeah. And it was good to have I saw that interview. It was pretty nice. One of the interviewees is Matt Barnes. You know, like at the end of he was like, hey, ESPN, I'm telling you, put my boys on recognition. Like I'm trying to tell y'all over here. Like he not only is he a commentator for the Kings on a nightly basis, but he also goes on ESPN and all these other, and he's trying to put us on recognition.
Yeah.
You know, he's sticking his neck out because he sees the work we're putting in.
Yo, did you watch the post game? After yeah.
I watched
watch
a
the
little
postgame?
bit. I didn't watch most of it.
Oh, but did you get to see like how hyped Matt Barnes was?
Oh yeah, he made a bet with like some Warriors fan kids, and they were doing push-ups.
But look, but before he even got to that part, the big ass smile he had.
Oh, he was ecstatic.
Dude,
man.
he loved it. And bruh, you talking about a guy who was on the Warriors twice. He was a King twice. Okay, he was drafted by us, and then we traded him away in the Chris Webber trade to Philly. And that's how we got to Kenny Thomas, and that's why Kenny Thomas is also a part of the post game. It's because he was a former King, okay? And then we brought him back before we traded away Boogie. But he was on some really good Warrior teams. He was on the We Believe Warriors that upset the Dallas Mavericks, who had the best record at the time. So they were the Mavericks were the number 1 seed. Warriors were the 8th seed. This was 2008, I think. 2007. And yeah, big upset. And that was a great Warrior team that played small ball, and they were very tough and gritty. And that's really how him and Steven Jackson became such good friends and all that. And then, he goes, when he comes to us and then for the second time and we traded him to the Warriors, I mean, we did that so he can go win a chip. And he won a chip with those guys. And I remember it was a big deal to him. He finally got a ring, and his former Warrior teammates from the We Believe era, wrote to him, and they were all crying and all that. So he has a lot of love for the Warriors, but this dude is from Sacramento. I know he grew up a Laker fan, but you can't be from Sacramento and also not like the Kings. It's hard.
The Kings, yeah.
Because
and especially the team that drafted you.
Yeah. And
come on.
And
he's a Sacramento King, bro.
And he's local. You know, he loves to see his family. He loves to have his twins out here. Man, dude, the smile he had on his face, he wasn't heartbroken that the Warriors lost. He was ecstatic that the Kings won, bro.
Kings won, man.
That just proves how much he's a hometown kid. As much as could be in his life to push him away. Him being a Laker fan growing up, because the Lakers, it was hard not to like the Lakers. But like I said, when you from Sacramento, dog, it's hard not to like the Kings. It's hard not to like them, bro. There's always something about them that is something that just sticks with you. If you allow yourself to like the Kings, bro, it's something different, because you're not rooting for the easy teams, bro. You're not over here bandwagoning. You have so much pride. That's why on these city jerseys, I love these city jerseys, by the way, dude.
I need to get me one. I need to get me one, man.
The stitching on the side says Sacramento proud, bro.
Yes.
I don't think there's very many city jerseys that say something similar about their city.
Oh, yeah. And I love the font across the front. It's that old school Sacramento font. When we had the old logo, which just pays homage to this team and where we came from.
Yeah.
I need to give me one. Them things are sweet.
Those things are clean, dog. Clean. Yeah. We've never had a gray jersey. And it's crazy because the gray color has been in a lot of Kings jerseys. But just to have one that's more prominent is the thing that we've never had, and boy, does it look nice, bro. It looks good. It can match so many outfits out there. Do gray and white, gray and black. Dude, imagine wearing some white forces with them, or some gray I don't know, some gray Jordans, some gray and white ones.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Be nice, man.
dude, there's the possibilities with that jersey's endless. For me, it's always now it's gonna be this gray one and the black ones. Man, those are my
The
favorites.
old black one?
Anything, any of them,
Any of the black ones, yeah.
Black just looks nice. Period. It's hard not to look good in black, but like certain color schemes with black look amazing. And to me, black and purple looks good. I like the Ravens colors. They're black and purple. It just looks nice together, man. It's sweet.
Yes. They definitely came out with that swag.
Anything going on with you, man?
Not much, man. Just enjoying watching this team, watching sports, man. I was just thinking about how you were talking about, majority of our fan base is loyal. The ones that jump ship to become Laker fans and Warrior fans, they don't belong to us. They aren't welcome back. Because they'll try to come back. They belong to the streets, man. They belong to the streets, man. But
she's a runner. She's a track star.
if you're a Laker fan that wants to jump ship,
she gonna run away when it gets hard.
what I was saying was, there might be some Laker fans trying to jump ship right now. And they could be like, "Oh man, the Kings look good."
I'm from Sacramento. I'm
from Sacramento.
I could go buy me a Kings jersey and nobody would know the difference.
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of Warrior fans. I bet there was a lot of Warrior fans. Dude, I don't know what the percentage was, but them Warrior fans, because a lot of them are bandwagon, okay? There are people from the Bay Area that move down to Sacramento. That's something that people probably don't know about, is as it gets more expensive to live in the Bay Area, a lot of people have migrated to Sacramento.
Yeah.
And so, so you do have people that are legit Warrior fans. But for the most part...
Me personally, I've never met a legit Warrior fan.
I have. My brother-in-law. You have met.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law.
Yes. True. That's the only one. Everyone else has been a Warrior fan since the start of them winning championships recently.
Yeah.
Any team before that, they can't even tell you, bro. They can't even tell you.
Oh, dude, I diss Warrior fans to their face all the time. Like I'll be like, oh, so when, like, back when they were really getting their success, when they were having their back and forth with Cleveland, I would be like, oh, so you've been a lifelong 5-year Warrior fan, huh? Yeah, that slips over their head. I'd be like, slipping in.
Yeah,
it's only been recent. I was like, man, okay. So you've been lifelong since Curry, Clay, and Dre. Okay, nice. Yeah. You don't know what Run TMC is.
Yeah,
you probably think I said Run DMC. You probably out here trying to quote some Run DMC lines.
Nah, that Run TMC, man.
Yeah, no, Run TMC, man. They don't know what that is.
They don't know. They don't even know.
Nope.
Which back in the day was some good basketball to watch, man. That was some good guys right there.
Yeah.
They don't even know, man. Get out of here.
And what's crazy with the Warriors kind of starting to regress? They don't really help out the development of their young dudes to help burden the weight off of, you know, the big three.
Mm-hmm.
Because really it's I feel bad saying it, but it's really a big 1.5. Clay is a quarter of himself, and so is Dre.
Yeah.
So
is Dre.
they equal
I
to
mean,
half, and it's 1.5 to me.
Tonight, that's what it was.
And so
Tonight, that's what it was. I mean,
I don't know how Steph's gonna do it. If
27 points, we held Steph to 27 under
that's
30.
amazing. That's amazing. I didn't even
That's
know that.
fantastic.
I thought he had 30. The way he was
No,
cooking
hit
towards the end.
27. 27. That was it.
Yeah. And how many threes did Clay miss, bro? Because it didn't seem like he made any.
He was 3 for 10.
That's crazy inefficient for a guy
With
that
the majority
is so good.
with the majority of his misses in the last 2 quarters.
Yeah.
So he was not able to hit those clutch shots.
He was shooting them out of the game. And Clay had to dial it up, and I don't think he could do that. It's hard for LeBron to do it, and he's a bigger, stronger dude. He's an Iron Man of the league, man. He don't get injured very often. Right now, he's dealing with a groin thing, but like LeBron can't even do this, man. Expect Steph to do it? Like, this is a guy whose ankles have to have ankle braces as he plays, and those things are sturdy, and he has to do like crazy, bends and stuff in order to get around guys. And this dude,
these
he's
guys
incredible
are,
though. My hat's off to Steph. He's incredible.
They're incredible. All 3 of them, they're incredible. They were incredible players, and Clay is still a great player. These guys are, man, they're in their 30s, mid 30s, man.
Clay
They're
dealing
getting
with
up there.
Clay with
Off
those
of
injuries.
his injuries.
He's in denial about the fact that he's not gonna come back from this to be what he was.
No.
He's gonna still be viable, but not to the extent that he was in the past, but pre-injuries. Those are 2 devastating injuries, man. And you're only getting older. If those injuries happen to you early on, kind of like how the ankle injuries happened to Steph early on in his career, you could bounce back from it because youth does wonders for healing. But healing is not on your side. We just talked about it with like the Raiders situation and talking about my own health, how you speed up your aging process on your body with how much these guys have to train on the regular. Like, since they were kids, they've been physically active. You can't say that for the large majority of the population. That's why like it's 1 in a million that get to go into pro sports. It's hard. You got to be able to be crazy active for all of your life. And
then Draymond, I mean, over the course of his career, he's taking beatings down there at the post. That takes a lot on you too, especially being a big man. Like
he's the
you're gonna
enforcer
take
on
more
the team.
strain. You're gonna take more strain throughout the years.
The thing that made him the heartbeat of the team was that he was such an enforcer. He was over here sacrificing his body to
Getting
get
the
50-50 balls.
contacts,
Everything was contact. And they call it hardwood, not softwood. So when he goes when he goes and throws his body diving for a ball, I mean that you're landing on something very, very hard. It has no give. He dives into the stands to save a ball. Those are hard chairs, bro. Those are steel chairs. And sometimes he crashes into people. They got hard ass bones, elbows. And with them playing so good for so long, I mean, you was going to back to back to back to back to back finals, bro. You played
Yeah, I
extra
mean, just
seasons.
yeah, they one of the best basketball teams in recent history.
Yeah.
One of the best like teams to just go out and do it. I mean, it was a great organization.
But
But
you see
do
the
I think
you see the toll it takes on LeBron, bro. Like this dude has been
yeah,
going deep in the playoffs the majority of his career.
his career, yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is 20 plus years now in the league.
Yeah.
And so for these guys
I mean,
to do it, and they ain't even in the kind of shape that LeBron is, I mean, damn.
yeah.
Those young guys it needs to happen now, man. They need to
Yeah,
integrate those guys big time, dude.
because once Curry is out of the game, Thompson and Green, their team isn't a bright future.
So the
Maybe
reason why
the only one with the brightest future is Jordan Poole. That's about it.
So the reason why I bring it up, bro, is because something that has been a fact for us locals is that the Warriors and Kings have never been good at the same time.
Yeah.
Never. When we had the C-Web days, the Warriors were trash. They went hella years without being good. Now, the thing that we have had in the past is we've been bad at the same time, but none of us have been good at the same time.
Good at the same time, yeah. Yeah, that's facts. Yeah. So
Any
we're kind of
plans?
seeing that
Oh,
shift,
yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that they need to do something about it, because if they don't, they have some highly talented players that they haven't developed because they were clinging on to it. That's what happened to the Kings, bro. They did not do a good job. Like, we should have never got rid of Jared Wallace. He was a good player for a long time, playing for the Bobcats when they became a thing. And he got them to the playoffs, and this dude was so good, but he could have been, the bridge to more things, We wouldn't have had such a big drought. We would have just continued to add guys that had high potential like he did, and just continue that winning culture. But you see what happens when you hold on too long and you just you don't do it the right way, you get a 16-year drought.
Yep. I mean, is this a foreshadowing? Is this a foreshadowing for
If
the
it is, bro,
Warriors?
if it is, I'm keeping receipts, and I'm one day, bro, one day, I truly know it, with the help of everybody who watches our stuff, this podcast is gonna blow up, and we're gonna come back to this day, okay? And hey, it's crazy because it's episode 14. My favorite number is 14. That's my good luck number. So this is episode 14. I'm gonna remember this. We're gonna come back to this moment. If they don't do what I said, I'm clipping it, because hopefully we become popular enough in the future that we can look back at this and this will go viral. Okay. This is 2022. I just gotta put it out there. So this way, if
2022.
if this
November
happens,
14th.
yeah. If this gets
It's also
viral,
November 14th right now.
Oh, snaps.
No!
Episode
You heard it
14
here
on the
first.
14th.
You heard it here first.
So hopefully on the 14th, from 3-4 years from now, this will go viral, and the Warriors hopefully will suck and didn't do it the right way, and we'll start to have, and then this will go viral, and then other teams can then look at us and be like, these guys are freaking geniuses. The gurus of sports.
Genius.
Man, they were right about the Detroit Lions and the Chicago Bears.
Bears. Yeah. And by that time, the Bears and the Lions will be in the playoffs.
all the time. Justin
Kings
Fields,
will
bro,
be good.
Justin Fields won't just be some good young dude. They'll be like, yo, he's one of the elite quarterbacks. Skip and Shannon gonna be talking about, hey man, the 2-4 Buckeyes, they knew it before all of us. Skip. I can't believe that shit. I was over here. I was over here talk, on my hen dog, and then this went viral. And Skip, you won't believe it. This happened in 2022. These guys knew.
Help me out, Skip. Help me out.
A redhead and a Mexican got it. They figured it out.
Clip it. You heard it here first.
Clip
man.
it.
Damn, I hope we're right.
How you gonna ruin it, man? You gotta be positive, man.
No,
you gotta have the confidence.
We're gonna be right. I see it happening. In
the words of Shannon Sharp, have the courage of your conviction.
I said, yeah. Have the
Hey,
courage.
I went out on a limb on some trash ass teams. I recognize the talent that they have, man. I ain't no wuss. My mama didn't raise no sissy.
No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I see it. I see the path taken, and if they don't do something to develop these guys, they're not gonna have anything.
Yeah. Cause I really wasn't impressed with Kuminga. Have we seen Wiseman? Have we seen much
Only
of
a
him?
little bit. He didn't play this game. We saw him a little bit last time, and he wasn't that great either. Wasn't a real standout.
Yeah, the only two young people that we see is Jordan Poole, Kuminga, and Wiggins, and they're in a lot of trouble if they have to rely on Wiggins because it's too much weight to carry. It's so hard to have a guy from Canada be on your team, dog. It's hard. It took possibly the last prime years of Draymond Green and Clay to help him win a chip, man. It took a lot. It was Herculean, man. Dude, I gotta give him so much props. They're probably the greatest team ever that year to win with the fucking Canadian. I dropped the F-bomb about this. Can't believe this, man. I'm telling you, there is no Dirk Nowitzki, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker of Canada. There ain't. These guys proved themselves. That's why you believe in a Luka. Okay? It's because it's proven. It's proven. They did it. Once upon a time, we called those European players, the overseas players, like soft. No good. But we ain't doing it to these Canadians. You need to, quit sniffing their flowers made out of maple syrup, man. You just need to stop. Okay?
Yep.
A moose ain't nothing but a gay reindeer. That's all I gotta say.
Oh man. All right. Let's close it out on that.
Any plans this week, man? Let the people know what you gonna do this week.
Not much, man. I'm gonna go see me a movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna possibly try to go see me a movie called
Oh wait, is
Black
it?
Panther.
Oh, you about to go see that little indie thing that I told you about? Yeah, the one that
little
barely
indie
people know.
movie.
Yeah, the indie
Yeah.
movie, the Black Panther that ain't nobody heard about, the Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, I
I
heard
hear you.
this is a sleeper
Sleeper.
movie, man.
Hidden gem.
Ain't nobody.
Hidden gem.
I'm gonna
it's
go.
crazy.
I'm gonna go take a chance.
Yeah.
Go take a chance on
Take a
it.
chance. Yep. I'm gonna do the same.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna do it this weekend, but schedule got too
Yeah.
complicated. Probably
Yeah.
gonna try for tomorrow or day after.
Yeah.
it early.
For sure.
I'm
Yeah.
actually gonna. I can't believe this, but they actually showing this small ass project in theaters that have D boxes. You know, the seats that move. I can't believe it.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe it. But I'm gonna try and see it in that.
Crazy.
See if it's worth it. If it is, I'll let you guys know.
Yeah. We'll let you know.
I think we should try to get on after the Kings play the Nets. Cause that might be
Yeah.
dub number 4, baby.
Yeah.
Dub
That is
number 4.
that would be
Is it Tuesday or Thursday?
Tuesday. That'll be Tuesday.
Okay, earlier midweek.
Yeah.
Earlier midweek than
It's
usual.
only
Maybe
one day.
maybe
we usually
we-
do
we-
Wednesdays.
maybe we'll pop out one more. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. But if we don't do it on Tuesday, it's only because the Kings had the worst game of the season. But if they have a
Yeah.
close one and they still got an L, I still want to talk about it. If
Yeah.
it wasn't nice, I don't want to talk about it.
But I mean, the way they're playing, I have nothing but high hopes.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna come out for a good game. It's our second game at home on this little 4-stint home trip. So I think it's gonna be a good game. Good game to watch.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that notification bell like it was some butt cheeks to smack. Let it jiggle, hit all on the notifications. Cause as you can see, we are the best. We better than the rest. And the Warriors suck. And the Kings have returned. Wakanda forever! Say it together! Wakanda forever! Warrior fans will soon be Kings fans. And I ain't gonna act like it ain't happening. I'll say you've been a lifelong Kings fan for a year now. And if Coach Nick ever sees this, I hope you have sleep dreams. And the Kings go into the playoffs. Why not? Have a good night, y'all. Adios.